Hello, everyone. Welcome in. We are here. We are live. Welcome to the final night of the holiday week extravaganza. I'm Nick Bros. I am the founder and owner of the Titan Media Collective. I am joined today by some of our, some of the fan favorite content creators here that we'll be bringing on in just a moment. This is a special broadcast because we're streaming both on Twitch and on YouTube. We are live for TitanTV as well. So we have our cookie decorating contest tonight, and then stick around for some other amazing content as our the rest of our TitanTV broadcast continues on right after that. Just right out of the gate, I see Allie's ready to throw hands, and a lot of people, throwing shade towards Scoots. So we're going to see what goes on here, but super excited to get everybody in here. I'm going to first introduce my, I'd say co-host, but I'm going to let him kind of take the reins because he's way funnier than I am. So let's introduce Nate from Two Beards, please. Welcome in, Nate. Nate, act like you've been here before.
Yeah, let me unmute it. Yep, there we go. That's better. Ho, ho, ho.
Welcome
Everything.
in.
Hey,
Nate, you're kind of the opposite of the holiday spirit with the tropical shirt.
Well, you know what? It's the whole opposite of Christmas in July. I'm celebrating July at Christmas, so it's 20 degrees and white outside here in Wisconsin, Nick, and I'm just tired of it.
Yep, I agree. I'm not far from you, so I understand.
Right.
Let's bring in the defending champ. Let's see if somebody can take the crown away this year. Allie over Allison, welcome in.
I don't know. She's
hello.
It's the Queen Allie. She's
I don't know. I feel like everyone has an edge on me this year. It's fine.
Yeah, everybody's gunning for the top. You always want to gun for the top. That's why they're throwing the blue spiky hedgehog thing at you, right?
Right. Well, I will throw it back at them because I will win because I am the best cookie decorator. What can I say?
Well, we will certainly find out tonight.
Well, you've got our last year's title, so you can claim that for now.
I feel like I did bully everyone into voting me. I might not have that luxury this year.
Let's put some respect on her name. She's been here pretty much, I think, every night the holiday week. So let's bring on Mags from You Don't Want to Know podcast. Welcome, Mags. Well,
hi guys.
It says and Cody, but Cody bailed. So it's a sad day.
No cookies for Cody.
Less competition. It's fine. It's fine.
We will also throw some respect on Asian Man 593 for being here for a majority of the week. Welcome in, Chris.
Hello.
It's a beautiful sweater, sir.
Thank you very much. It's my business sweater because it's business time. Shit's about to go down.
Love that. And last but certainly not least, the newest of our Titan streamers. Or was it Scoots first or you, Chris? I forget.
I don't know. I know we were both at the same time. I don't know who was first, really.
A matter of days. It's like twins trying to figure out who was born first.
I was born first.
We have Scooter Babe joining us with the
hello. It was a tie. We arrived.
Right, we both came out of the womb at the same time.
Yeah, exact same time, like high-fiving as we came.
Birth at the same time. Well, bam.
I don't want to picture that. I do not want
to
picture
picturing it now. In our respective clothes right now, like we were just birthed too.
Yeah, and Scoots, it seems like you're public enemy number one.
I have a tendency to put a target on my own back. I literally can't stop. I don't know what I'm doing.
Started even in your own streams.
I did. The thing is, I start things, so I don't know. I'm acting like I don't know how they start. It's me.
Sheesh.
Love it. Well, before we jump into it, we're going to explain the rules to everyone. So tonight, it is our cookie decorating contest. So we are giving our creators 30 minutes to decorate 3 cookies. However they want to split that up is up to them. But we have 3 categories that they're going to decorate. One is going to be the just general holiday theme. The second cookie is going to be a holiday character or just their favorite character, as some people are arguing here. So they'll have to justify that to you because at the end of the day, you're going to be the judges. And the third one is going to be one that represents their content or community. So contestants, do we all agree on the rules?
Rock and roll.
Excellent.
Yes.
Not like you have a choice.
I do see it says holiday character in the Discord, so that is on me.
Yeah. So, like I said, we'll let you plead your case. So
I'll try.
It's maybe thinking outside the box is what it's going to take to take the crown away from Allie.
It was a tough call last year. There's some really good. You guys have a lot big shoes to fill here.
That's right.
I know.
That's right. My own big shoes to fill.
Baby Bat last year had some pretty spectacular cookies, so I think you're all kind of lucky she's not in it this year again.
That is very true. So anybody, before we got a couple minutes before we get started, anybody have any initial strategies they want to share? Any things that they're
Aaron,
planning
any
You
on
think we're gonna
strategies?
tell people our
Uh-uh.
strategy? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Strategy.
y'all are going down.
I've
Decorate.
Nick, are you a part of
decorated
this
a cookie
competition?
before.
I am not a part of this competition, so
Trying to sabotage us? Gosh.
not yeah. So
I'll be open. I think my strategy is to win so hard that
Uh-huh.
no
Yeah.
one has any
Terrible.
questions.
I'm just winging it.
So
that is fantastic. Well, all right. So it is 7:10 here right now.
My
So
heart's racing.
at 7
I'm a little sweaty.
well, now it's 7:11. So now we're gonna wait till 7:12, and
Oh,
we are
God.
going to go until what is that? How does math work? 42.
Well, let me just start a timer, Nick. Let me just
There
start
you
a
go.
timer.
Wait, quick question. Is there like anything that we can't use? Because I just have like sprinkles and frosting. Is that okay?
You can use
That-
whatever
that
you
is-
want to use. You could use
Okay,
tomato
great.
sauce. Nobody
Yeah.
cares.
Delicious Italian pizza.
Tape and glue. That's all you need.
Glue.
We did have a pizza slice as a cookie last year that actually looked really tasty. So you know,
Yeah.
the
Admirable.
You know, holiday pizza.
that's right. The rules are you have 30 minutes and that's it.
All right, so
Mhm.
we're gonna start now. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Gosh, I'm so nervous.
Okay.
There it is.
That
And the
happened so
timer has
fast.
Countdown
started.
clock.
God. Okay. I haven't decorated cookie in like so long.
We have Allie with this
Decorated
nice
one?
overview. So
Can we
let's,
lick the frosting as we go? I just did.
I say you
Please don't
do-
disqualify me.
Disqualified.
You do.
Please no. It's my first one.
There you go. Close up
Are we
of
supposed
Allie's.
to be showing
Oh
our
my
stuff?
God.
Yeah, do we
Well,
have
we'll,
to?
we'll check in with you along the way. So let's.
I
take
can
a
like
look
lift
at-
my plate, but
Yeah.
I don't have my cam set
I
up
don't
for
have a
that.
second cam.
Here you go. I'm using my laptop. I'm not a streamer. I'm a
I'm
podcaster.
just a baby streamer. I only have one cam, and it's pointed towards my face.
And
Hey,
let's,
Siberian with the
Literally so
hello.
nervous.
What's going on, buddy?
welcome on in. All right, so we got Allie. She's
Having a little
Just put
trouble
round
with that
cookies
blue
this year.
frosting there,
I
though.
need paper towels.
Yeah, it's not coming out.
That
That's
blue,
okay.
I can
Hmm.
feel the frustration through the screen here.
It doesn't want to come out.
I'm waiting for it to go flying across the room out of screen.
Okay,
I
this
will
is true.
cry if that happens.
Okay. here's
That's
the-
okay. It's fine. It doesn't need to come out. Who
Oh,
cares?
no.
It could be
Oh, no.
melted.
I care, Allie.
Well,
out.
you're going down, so I don't care about you. Sorry.
Wow.
Ooh,
Okay, here we
that's
go.
cold.
Here we go. Here we
That's
go.
cold.
The competition is fierce here.
That's right.
Chirping is encouraged for sure.
Chirping? What's chirping?
We're getting an offer to promote our channel here, Nick.
That's right. We need mods.
I'm a mod.
I'm a mod. I'll take care of it.
That's true.
I
Are
got
you
it.
a mod?
I'm a better mod.
Somebody
Damn.
delete. Oh,
I'm cooking.
Damn.
I'm decorating cookies and modding. I should automatically get points for this.
Oh my
Extra
God,
point.
Allie,
Wow.
please.
you just
There's
got it
some
quicker.
ego for the rest of us.
Allie, you just got it quicker
Oh,
because
that's
I'm
a bad
twice
idea.
your age and don't know how to do this yet.
I changed my mind.
Siberian is about to
Oh my God, this
he
is
wants,
so bad.
He wants the cookie shipped out so he can personally judge taste test.
I got you. I'll run it to you. Like I'll just run.
Commander Falcon says Scoots don't eat all the frosting.
Falcon, help. I am eating as I go. It's a method. It's a method.
And I do also want to give a
Just
shout out
like
to Sun God Slayer 88 for the follow, and also Commander Falcon. Welcome in. Thank you for the follows.
Sun
I know them.
God.
Hi, friends.
Let's take a look and see what we got on Mags' camera here.
I had to start over. So there's
Uh-oh.
nothing.
Are those stars, Meg?
Don't look. It's a secret.
Well, then take your camera off of your plate then.
It's the honesty policy, okay? You're just not
That's
supposed to look.
We have someone in the chat here rooting for the returning champ.
Wow, sad. I see how it.
Nick, we need to get a traveling
Not
trophy for
going
this.
too well.
That we do. Maybe we'll have to ship out a medal or something.
I want a medal. I like
think-
medals.
Yeah, I think so. I think it
to
needs
get
to
a
be
medal, Allie.
I didn't get a
This is so
medal, and I want a
scary.
medal.
Thank you.
And there's
Oh.
the support for Chris.
Yeah.
I tried. That's
Yeah.
it's
My
something.
hands.
This
hands
looks
are
like
shaking.
garbage. But
DJ
you know
Ballard
what?
has little
I'll take
faith
it.
that Scoots will be able to actually let any icing actually hit the cookie.
I can't escape this. I
If
get
she's-
it in. I
if
get it
You
in my
opened up a
chat.
bad door, Scoots.
If she starts piping the icing right into her mouth, you better be ready to go right to her camera, Nick.
Oh my god.
That's
It might.
it's quite the
It might
festive
turn to
hat.
that.
Where did
And even the
they're
chair
right in
with
front
the
of me.
light bulbs behind it. I really enjoy that.
Actually, you know what? Feel pretty good about this.
Bondage, thank you for the 4 biddies.
This
Thank
is
you so
too
much.
I'm being too much right now with my design.
It says cheers for Asian Man and everyone, but
Cheers, Dutch.
Ugh.
You're the
Where's
best.
my? Here we go.
Okay.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
well,
Yeah.
since we got some
hello.
shouts for Chris here, let's see Chris,
Looking
what
really
are we working on?
Pikachu.
Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. I got 2 shades of green going on a cookie here.
Ooh.
I'm trying my best to
Ooh,
make the Grinch.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
There it is.
well, I thought you were going
And-
for a
See.
abstract Christmas tree.
This is untitled design, color white so far,
Ooh.
and that's all I've got.
Love it.
Like I said,
Love
just
it.
winging it.
And then we're gonna give a shout out to Fireball in 1745 for the follow, and then also for the 245 bits. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Hey,
So this
yo.
is just for Asian Man 593.
Hey, yo.
So
Oh.
sides are being chosen.
Wow, guys!
My guy.
I thought we were a family.
No, they're my
No.
adopted
No.
children. Sorry, no, they're mine.
Titan Media
Alright.
Collective, where we bring communities together and then immediately
Hello,
pit
Dominic,
them
out.
against each other.
Just
We are
tear
five-
apart.
we- We are 5 minutes in. We
That's
got
not enough time.
24 minutes left to go. All right.
Okay.
I
Are
feel
there
confident.
notes?
Oh
Hey,
my God,
Nick,
is that a
did you-
Pikachu? Oh my god.
Is that Pikachu?
Is mine Pikachu? It doesn't look like Pikachu.
I just vaguely all I can see
Kind
is
of.
the yellow.
Bruh, it's rough. Okay, we're not gonna talk about it.
Commander Falcon
Oh my
with
God.
the
What?
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some
Support.
scissors.
There you go. No, you can't
What's
get
going
up
on
and get
chat?
more products. That's against the rules.
Falcon, shooting
you
for
so
me.
much. We got
As I
we
eat.
are. What does
This
this
is
say?
so bad. I hope you
Let's
guys
go.
understand what this is. I
You guys
Mine
are
looks
nuts.
great.
Appreciate all of you.
Okay,
don't know if I can do this ghost puppy.
I'm shaking.
I am
So,
too. This
so
is
Allie,
going
what do we
rough.
have in on cookie number 1 there?
I could. It's the love of my life.
Ah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. It's my typical Wednesday drink choice. I figured I shouldn't go for a cat 2 years in a row, so I changed it up this year. I should have gone for the cat, personally, in my opinion. But you know,
And then
I have to be fair and not go for the same thing that I won with last year.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing the second
Thank
one
you.
is Christmas Pikachu.
Yep. It'll look different when it's done. Okay, this is just the first layer. There's a lot more I have to do. And I don't have a tan icing. If anyone can come across a tan icing, I will give you the biggest hug in the world.
Well, you know how we
Okay.
do things.
Well, I'm not
here.
going to
We
help
work
out
early and
the
often.
competition,
Do
but I love you.
you have tan
Uh-oh.
icing though?
I bought it all, so you couldn't get any actually.
Oh, all right, that makes sense. I don't
But I
blame
do-
you. don't blame you.
I do like you, but you know, this is.
I mean, I like
war.
you too. It's fine.
It's just war, you know.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Stakes are high right now, so
We have 3 biddies from Kale Salad. Thank you so much. She is a fellow Titan streamer, so click on her name right there. Go give her a follow because she's awesome. And just graduated. I think she got a
yay!
master's.
Congratulations.
So-
And just got married too.
And just got
Oh
married.
my
So
gosh!
big things happening in the Salad family.
salad.
Salad family.
Dishonored, welcome in. All right, let's see. Back to back. What do we got working here?
I just finished number 1. I'm on number 2. And I have no idea what I'm doing. So it's going great. I'm not panicking at all.
That's an interesting compilation of sprinkles on your.
It's methodical. It's just I literally am just picking out one sprinkle at a time and putting it on here. So it's
Oh my God, me
great.
too.
Hey,
What's
what's
that?
up, Dishonored? We're doing
Hi,
well.
Dishonored.
Hi,
How are you feeling?
And Kaylee also came to share that she passed her black belt test. So just,
we were
Woo!
so worried about that.
Nice job, cousin. Good
Make
job.
bear. I got you, fireballing.
Fireball.
You got it.
That was not supposed to go on.
Yeah.
95 biddies from Fireball, and thank you so much. Make bear as a
Oh,
cookie.
I have red icing. Wow. Okay.
I hope I can make bears.
Literally picking out red sprinkles
Okay.
for no
You
reason.
guys want to see us? Can I show my first cookie? It's
No.
Uh-oh.
Yes,
okay. It's a
please.
character.
Ruin it.
I just saw a favorite character, and so I'm choosing Judy from Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing friends, where you at? She's a bear. I can send
There
a
it
picture of her to chat.
This is not holiday related, so I think this should be disqualified.
I
Disqualified.
think that
Disqualified
it
and
makes
banned.
me as happy as the holidays make me, and
Well,
there's a lot of Christmas
Bah
activities.
humbug.
There's a lot of Christmas activities to do in Animal Crossing. You would know that.
Mm.
You played.
Sorry, I'm not.
Thank you, Kale.
I'm-
That's all I have.
There's
I
a
don't
great first
cross
cookie.
with the animals.
Thank you.
Chris, I think we need to see what you're working on now.
Okay, well, I added whiskers to him, and
Oh my
I'm
gosh, this is not going
working
well.
on trying to make a snowflake for the holiday theme because I love snow. Snow is one of my
And-
favorite things of the season,
Flakes.
It's a good idea.
and yeah, for my community, Fireball in here, Bear is kind of my little mascot that I have because I met him at a dog daycare that I worked at, and he's a Great Pyrenees, and he was one of the best dogs ever.
Aw.
And I miss him every day, and I'm gonna try to make him.
Oh, that's so sweet.
really
Love
cute.
it.
That's so lame.
And just a quick
Allie?
here.
God.
19 minutes to go.
I love you, Chris.
If
Boy,
you're not
boy,
on your
boy,
if
boy,
you're not
boy,
on your
boy.
second cookie yet, you're behind the ball here.
Your Christmas gift just shipped too, Allie.
my God.
Yay.
Well,
Can you
okay.
cancel it?
Meg,
It
cookie
didn't
got
just ship.
stabbed.
It just got ordered.
Don't
It might
look
not
at my
get there until
cookies. Just
after
kidding.
the holidays.
It did get stabbed.
Okay, I
Rough. It's rough.
haven't sent yours to you yet.
Okay. You got time.
Got yellow pants.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Oh. Okay. This is going
So-
really well.
So, Megs, I'll let you, since you're the podcaster here, and some of the people here might not be familiar, I'll let you explain why you're making this cookie.
Because I am a true crime podcaster. I also do like spooky stuff, but I had no idea how to do a spooky cookie. So I'm just doing a murder victim. And I'll probably do a
Wow.
podcast about him later.
That's pretty spooky.
There you
I
go.
love.
Speaking
Okay,
speaking of
It's also a
spooky-
ghost. There we go. That's it.
That's cool
It's
as
also
fuck,
a ghost.
actually.
Ghost
Speaking of
cookie.
spooky, on Thursday we had the
Yes.
podcast episode, which if you go back on Twitch after this, wait till we're done here, and also wait till we're done with our Titan TV for tonight. But like tomorrow or whenever, go back and watch Thursday's stream where we had 5 or 6 of us talking about holiday horror stories, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her
Josie.
name. Josie, thank you. Josie had a truly frightening holiday
Yes.
story.
Scary. Poor girl.
It will
So-
also all be
I mean,
up on
she's
our
still alive
YouTube
though,
channel.
so it's okay.
Yeah. Yes, it will also all
always
be up
good.
on our YouTube channel tomorrow. So all of the past holiday week events will be live there tomorrow. So you'll be able to check that out too.
As I'm looking at the screen here, I think next year I got to get some white out for my beard to completely white it out and get myself a custom Santa hat made.
Yes.
Nice. Good choices.
We also need to shout out Ziberian for
Hell
gifting
yeah.
a 1 month tier 1 sub to Allie over Allison. And
Ah, thank
Oh my
you!
gosh,
Wow.
That was so loud.
Sorry, was I
Turn-
loud? I didn't mean
turn-
to.
Only a
There's a hair in
little.
my cookie.
Turn down your gain.
Well,
Toy Reaper
I was-
will,
I was-
hydrate everyone.
I was like facing my mic when I did that. I apologize.
It's okay. I liked it.
All right, Nick, let's go back to Allie
Let's
here.
bring your
Take
ears
me
somewhere.
off the main screen.
Toy
There we
Reaper
go.
also came
Okay,
through
see,
with
it looks
hydrate
better.
everyone. So.
Okay, it's not just Pikachu anymore.
Didn't you do that last year too?
Okay, but this is my favorite character. I can't just change my favorite character.
Okay, but what character is that? Is it from a Christmas thing?
I see.
Yeah, it's Clarice from
yeah,
Rudolph the
that's-
Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh,
Clarice.
okay, fine.
Oh, I have a fun
That's
fact.
good.
It's
about
not. It's not Clarice from Silence of the Lambs. That's what I would.
No.
No.
Sorry.
Okay. Darn it.
I have a fun
What a
fact about
disappointment,
Rudolph.
Oh, do I
Rudolph.
actually want to know this?
Well, it is.
I
It's
don't know.
it's a fun fact.
Okay.
Rudolph
like I
was a
should-
character developed by Montgomery Ward in 1930 as an advertising shtick.
Shtick.
Ooh.
Huh.
It's a fun word. Shtick.
That's what we got out of that. Thank you for the fun fact. We like the words.
Let's.
I learned a fun fact yesterday. It's you probably don't know who this is, but Barnes Courtney and Nick knows who it is. One of his songs, it's called Fire. He made it in an abandoned old folks home, and he used file cabinets as drums. And I thought that was pretty crazy.
Ooh.
So that's a fun
That's
fact.
crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Very talented man.
Looks like we've got Toy Reaper on here too.
That's right. Hey, if any of our other Titans are here, you are welcome to come in and join the fun.
Okay.
Going as fast.
I'm
Like,
done.
I keep breaking the frickin' sprinkles because I'm so nervous. One at a time.
Done across the board, Scoots.
Yeah. Is it
Working
time?
fast.
Can I show you?
Did
the
she,
one I'm most
I think
proud
she
of?
was prepped prior to the competition.
This is
She's
the
just qualified.
holiday one. It's 3-dimensional, and it's got a little carrot nose.
That's
a sprinkle.
cute. I just want
I
to take a
think-
big old bite off of it.
I honestly,
That's like 3D.
You
That's
won't do it
pretty
Yeah.
Take a bite
spectacular.
off
You
of
I
it
won't do
now.
it now.
Right now. Do it.
No,
Really enjoy you are so
Sabotage.
welcome to join.
and then I might adjust my content one concept. So I'm going to think about it for a second because I've got time.
Yeah, you do have a little time.
We're under
okay.
15 minutes.
That's right. And Toy and Kaylee, if you would like to join, the link is in our Discord. So feel free to join. And we will always accept more commentators.
As long as they're nice to me.
God, that was like, oh, shit.
Scoots is she just wants somebody in her corner.
I do. I need it. Right and left, I'm getting attacked. What's so funny?
Nothing, not you. I'm looking at my cookies right now.
Okay, good.
It's not you. I swear, Scoots, I'm not like
You better not be.
I think we all need to
Sounds
take
like
a
you're
look.
starting to
No,
try to start a fight
no.
again.
It's not
Yeah.
happening.
I'm gonna leave you in the spotlight till you show us, Chris.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Look at him.
There it is.
Oh, he looks great.
Is that the Grinch or Oscar the Grouch?
Guess both now. Holiday Oscar the Grouch. My
It works
snowflake
out.
Is like, I have no idea. This doesn't look like it's a snowflake to me now.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. That's what the self.
I was talking about mine.
He just wants
Just
sympathy
kidding.
votes.
Alright,
I'm just
Don't feel bad for
kidding.
him. Boo, he just wants sympathy votes. Don't fall for it.
Oh, boo.
Scoots. All right. The game is
No
on.
wonder everyone's trying to get after us, trying to fights.
She's
I know. I
She
literally
has
it's
started
like-
this like what on Thursday,
I
Wednesday.
felt bad, but now
I think it was
don't.
like Wednesday.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my god.
I was like, "Oh,
okay,
Chris,
we're
you
doing
ready? You ready
this.
for the cookies? I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you up."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Bro, this is for fun." And I was like, "Not anymore. No."
No, there's no
And
fun
now
involved.
I'm taking
here.
this to heart now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Only
win,
death.
so.
Toy
Only
coming
death.
through with the clutch comments here. Also, Dishonored, you go get some rest and have a great night.
That's exactly how it is.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right, what are we working on here, Mags?
I'm making a snow globe, and it's
A
not
snow
going well
Okay.
for Christmas because it's snow, right? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I'm also drinking your favorite.
What is
drink.
it? Bubbler, baby, bubbler. Right.
That's right. That's right.
Ooh.
Not
Sponsor
sponsored by
me.
it yet.
Sponsor
Working
me.
on
I freaking love them. Their price went up though. I'm kind of bummed about it.
You know, the price I'd be willing to pay for quality stuff.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, they have these like Christmas Christmas cookie recipes online, and it says to add cream cheese, but it doesn't say how much. So I couldn't make the cookies, and I was really sad because they looked super good. I've
know,
made
it's a
five
fancy-
different. I've made 5 different cookies in the past 24 hours, and they've all turned out horribly. Like it's just not going
no.
well. It's not going well, guys. So
Then
hopefully
are you sure you
decorating
still
goes
want her
well.
to send her cookies?
I I mean, I'm sure they taste good. They just don't look pretty.
Is that
Allie's
Allie? Is that stench marks coming out of the skate or?
Stench marks? No, it's supposed to be well, I tried to do a bow and the bow didn't turn out, so now I'm just decorating the outside, making it look like kind of snowy and
Like
wet, like
ice?
ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice cream.
Kaylee's
Did
offering.
somebody
that
say
taste
ice
test.
cream?
I did. I don't
Let
know.
me introduce you to Jenny's Ice Cream, one of the best ice creams in the world. You can
I
order
had-
it at www.jennyicecream.com. That's
Are
about
we
it.
sponsored?
I'm
Someone
working.
might
I
be.
want to.
also working on it. We're working on all of it.
Get after it.
Well, if you're working on those, let's get Krispy Kreme on that list too, Nick.
Krispy
You got
Kreme.
We've been after them since day one, 4 years ago.
Nice.
That's a perfect fit, Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. I don't think I've had Krispy Kreme in like 5 years, though. I'm just all about those glazers at Quick Trip, man.
Yeah.
Those are good too.
All right.
Freaking
Ready.
fire.
Have we made decisions on our community cookie scoots?
Yes. Yeah, I added something on top. Are we gonna do a big presentation at the end?
Oh
or
yeah,
are we
there's
like...
a big
Oh, yeah.
reveal. Yep.
Okay,
There's
okay, I'll
gonna be
wait. I'll hold it.
speeches.
I'll hold it close to
Oh,
my
yeah.
heart then.
Trophies, everything.
But there is pink involved. I will give you that.
Because
I'll
you
give
do
you-
have to, like I said, you got to plead your case to the Twitch chat. They
How do I plead my case for a cookie?
I feel
10
confident. I
10
think
minute
they'll
mark.
like it.
You're at the 10-minute
Guys, I'm
mark.
freaking out. I'm freaking out.
how are we
I'm gonna
doing over there,
try
Chris?
a different idea.
I'm just kind of throwing things on here at this point. Dang it. How do I make a... this was a bad choice. I put...
Made so much extra pink frosting that I needed
Okay.
a whole bowl.
Allie going for a bonus cookie?
Well, I think I might change up my community one here. We'll see
Bold
here.
choice. Switching it up at the 10-minute mark. Bold choice.
Yeah, I have 10 minutes. We're good.
This is some top
So,
chef
who-
stuff right here.
Where's
You know
Gordon?
what? That's smart. Maybe I'll change mine too.
You won't do it.
Who's
I might. I mean, I've got the one I already did. So what's the risk?
There's pink.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
We have everything to lose.
No pressure.
Whoever
Also,
loses
I
gets
like how
kicked.
you.
Whoever
like how
loses
you
gets
said-
kicked off the network.
No,
No.
Because I like how you said, "Oh, there's just all this extra frosting." Like that wasn't intentional.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it was like a switch and
Show us the
the word?
bowl. Show us the bowl.
a bait and switch.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
I saw a spoon there, but I didn't see you use a spoon on your cookies. So I think that was brought along.
You
Yeah,
know what I can do? I can do this. I can do it
there
this
you
way.
go.
I was using the knife. And then these like toothpick things that I stole from my plastic flossers. On the other end, there's a toothpick, and I was like, I need that for the detail. So I stole that from
Perfect.
it.
Smart.
You really thought through this.
I did. I really did. I swear I'm
So
trying.
how hyperactive would you be if you finished that bowl of frosting?
I would probably get sick, I think.
Yeah.
My stomach would be like, what did you do? You can't
Why
handle
would
this
you make those
anymore."
choices?
Oh, here it is.
Mag, what are you doing there?
I'm making a snowman. Gosh. Why are you
Oh.
judging me so hard? What does it look like I'm doing? Obviously. It's art. Okay.
The pressure is
It's
cracking down on
abstract.
Mags over there.
I've lost. I feel like I need to redeem myself after whatever game we played the other day.
Yeah, what
was
the
rough.
holiday trivia?
Ugh, I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh man, I missed that. I'm the reigning champ. I was the reigning champ on that one.
Yeah, Chris,
Too bad.
I don't think Chris missed a question.
Oh, I missed like.
Oh.
two.
Honestly.
That was last night, right? No,
It was
No.
on Monday.
Monday.
Yeah,
Yep, I was busy Monday.
I love my Christmas movies.
he even got the double Jeopardy right, which we gave as a potential equalizer because he was so far ahead. So we're like, okay, let's give everybody a shot.
What
And
was
then
it?
he was the
What
only
was
one
it?
that got it right?
What was the double Jeopardy question?
Or not Final Jeopardy rather. It was what was the highest grossing live action Christmas movie?
That was crazy. It made sense though.
Highest grossing live action Christmas movie.
Yep.
Call me Mr.
because they're on two.
Bombastic.
I got two different answers and two searches, and
Throw the question out.
so the one though was an animated as the top one. So
Is White Christmas?
nope.
Nope.
Highest grossing. Huh. I'm really bad at trivia.
See, you would think Joy.
Home Alone. Home Alone.
Yep.
Yeah. I would think Home Alone.
Okay.
That's the one. My all-time favorite Christmas movie.
I knew that. I just needed a minute to think.
But wait, there's another one? An
I
animated
feel
one?
very good about this one.
So
Yeah,
that
Is
is
it Rudolph?
and-
Is it Rudolph? I bet it's Rudolph.
no. It's the Grinch.
The Grinch?
Yep.
The Grinch?
Like
just watched that in my
which the
Discord.
Grinch?
So it looked like it was the animated Grinch,
Oh,
With
yeah.
Benedict
I can see
Cumberbatch?
that.
Okay.
like the
That one
cartoon.
was
Kaylee, Die Hard is absolutely a Christmas movie.
Nate, I will fight you so
I've
hard.
never seen it.
Bring it.
I will die on this hill. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and for the
It
love of God,
absolutely is.
it is not. I will die on this hill.
Why are you on a hill right
It
now?
happens at Christmas time.
It could
I
have.
There's a
mean, there's
Christmas
so
party.
many.
There's a Christmas party that sets the whole scenario. It's
But is it
100% a
about
movie.
Christmas?
Exactly.
It
Does it
doesn't
fill
have
you
to
with
be
the
about
spirit of
Christmas.
Christmas?
No.
You learn,
No.
yeah. You learn a Christmas.
Yes,
you
the
learn.
spirit of Christmas is the good triumphs over evil.
That's just a lesson to learn. That's not a Christmas lesson. That's the meaning of
It's not a
Christmas.
Christmas lesson.
You have to learn the meaning of
What?
Christmas.
What is a Christmas lesson? Oh, learning. the
Okay,
meaning
so
of
I just watched The
Christmas.
Grinch. Great movie overall. Honestly, past
Yeah.
Christmas, really a
It
year-round
is a
movie.
fantastic movie.
And they learn at the end that it's about. It's not about presents. It's about family and friends and love and spending time with each other. It's not about buying all that stuff. That's a
Wow.
Christmas lesson.
I feel like I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
I'm
so much
happy,
right now.
happy to pass the wisdom.
Thank you.
Along.
Thank you. I
Well,
appreciate it.
let's settle this right here and right now. There is a poll in the chat. Is Die
Oh,
Hard a
boy.
Christmas movie?
Oh my God, they're gonna say
Okay.
yes. Don't leave it up to the people. You know what I mean?
Don't leave it up to the people.
Yeah.
This is not a
It's
democracy.
your first. This is your first mistake. Leaving anything up to your Twitch chat. Just kidding,
I
love you
know.
guys.
Well, we got this.
Oh,
is
no,
testing
is
the waters.
kind of running away with this.
I just want to say, Harry Potter and the
Fuck.
Sorcerer's Stone also has a Christmas scene in it. Is it a
So it's a
Christmas
Christmas
movie?
movie.
Yes.
Well,
Harry Potter.
no.
You know what?
Well,
Y'all are
agreed,
entitled to
agreed.
your own opinions, even if you're wrong.
Now it's
That's
time
what
to be
I
had.
I'll take it.
I'm cutting the
How are you doing on time?
off of stars right now. Oh, I can't even do that.
We are
How
down
are we doing
to
on time?
3 minutes and 50
Oh
seconds
my
left.
God.
All right. Good to
Why
know.
didn't you warn us?
I'm
Alexander
keeping track.
Okay.
Hey, I messed up a little bit on my last one, so we're just, doing some recon here.
There it is. Love it.
Okay, I feel good about that one. This one's gonna be rough though. I'm so sorry.
I do like that though. That is a very clever cookie. Let's see, Chris, how are we doing it? We've only seen one of the cookies, so
right,
well,
yeah.
we saw the second one, but
All right,
a little bit.
and
But it was early on.
the final piece of the puzzle. Fireball, and this is for you. My little Pyrenees. It's not great, but
Love
wish
it.
you had some cookies to eat. We'll send you some.
That's right. 3 minutes left.
Oh my gosh.
The poll has ended, and we had 71% for no. Die Hard
The
is
poll
not
is
a
wrong.
Christmas
The
movie.
poll is wrong.
Yes.
This
Thank
is-
you
the
for
sample
having
size
common
is not
sense.
statistically valid. This is not.
We
Just
have a
accept
comment
it.
over from YouTube that says not about Christmas, hence not a Christmas movie. So
Burn.
Damn.
You burnt?
from Boozing on a Budget, which is one of our Titan TV shows, which will be airing tonight, and actually gonna give away a little bit of a spoiler, but because we have some of the alley cats here, it is a whiskey episode, so
Woo!
you might want to stick around. It's the last show of the night, but there's a ton of great content tonight, so we just got done
Yeah,
editing
no.
all of it. I'm super excited. Anytime one of our creators puts something together, it's always great. Speaking of,
2
if you
minutes.
haven't, at some point tonight or
That one's done. That one's
some
done.
point tonight, Hero Carrie is celebrating her 2 years on Twitch. She couldn't be here tonight because she is doing her anniversary stream right now, an 8-hour stream. So, at some point if you need to sneak away from here during Titan TV or whenever, but or with technology, just open up a second tab. That works too.
It's very advanced.
I
Right?
stopped in over there by
Go with that
her
one.
before we came here to this show. So
We're not cavemen.
Love it. Kaylee, yeah, you do what you need to do.
all right, start
Appreciate you
wrapping this
being
up.
Here we go.
We're approaching 1 minute.
Fuck.
I think I'm okay. I think I'm good. I think I did it.
I just had to make things complicated for myself. You know what I mean? I had to do something at the last
Whiskey.
second, or else what's the point? You gotta
There's no point.
Yeah, you know what?
Also,
Life's
get
about
stressed.
taking risks.
Amazing.
being
I
stressed
endorse
out.
it, Scoots. I endorse it.
Thank you.
Because that just means you'll lose.
Shut up! Don't you dare say that to me right now.
I did, though.
So
After we watched The
everybody
Grinch together.
Yeah.
everybody
After we
that's in
watched the
chat,
Grinch together.
everybody in chat right now, you will get a chance to vote on the cookies. So we'll go by
Yes.
category, and Nick, I think you're going to throw up a poll for each with them as an option.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Can I go wash my hands? I'm gonna go wash my hands.
You have
Yes,
27 seconds. No, just kidding. Yes, we will. We'll throw up a poll, so you all get to vote on the winner of each category. So 3 different chances to win. Toy votes for Nate, so Nate's already got 1 vote.
Nice.
Sweet. I didn't make any.
That makes you an automatic winner, Nate. Tension in the air is high right now.
I also
All right, time's up. Put your frostings down.
Hands up, chefs.
Okay.
All right. So, Nate, I'm going to let you choose the order that we want to go in. Do we want to let the reigning champ go first or last?
I think she needs to go last. Let's start with the holiday characters. Let's start with Scoob.
Right.
That does not feel targeted whatsoever. Okay, so all right. Here we go. Imagine this. You're opening presents on Christmas morning. You're so excited. You want a game that has lots of snow, lots of holiday items, holiday events. Like you're ready. You want a cute, fun little game for you and possibly your family, possibly your kids. Am I heartwarming you? Is your heart warmed? Okay, then think about Miss Judy from Animal Crossing. So cute, iconic. This looks just like her. You don't need to look up a photo because you're basically looking at one right here. She'll wear a hat. She will in the game. I'm so serious. She puts on a little Christmas hat during Christmas time. She's adorable.
So why isn't she wearing one now?
Yeah.
Because I did not have red. Just pretend. Use your imagination. That's what Christmas is really about: imagination and love and family and forgiving people. Thank you, Queen. when they don't read both words from the prompt. Fancy.
All right. Very nicely done. All right, Nick, let's go over to Mag next.
All right.
Yeah.
So this was
Well
really
done.
hard. This was really hard to do. I don't even know if anyone can guess it, but I tried to do here it goes. Nightmare Before Christmas, and this is like the little hill that they go on, and these are pumpkins right here, and that's Jack and Sally. And if you can see in the corner right there, that's supposed to be the little ghost dog Spike. Or, yeah, I think it's Spike. Yeah, you can barely see it. It's white background, and he's like a sheet ghost of a dog, so I had to use white sprinkles. So, but that's my cookie.
Nicely done. Nicely done, Mag.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's go over to Chris then.
Chris, it is.
I was very inspired today because I watched The Grinch with fellow Scooter Babe here and the community, and I just felt inspired that I wanted to make my own Grinch. He's got little angry eyes. He's got that little like weird ass smile that he always does. I gave him whiskers. I tried to do 2 shades of green.
He probably has whiskers. I bet.
I bet you he does have whiskers. He's a hairy guy. Like, what hairy guy doesn't have whiskers? Anyways,
I don't want to know.
so yeah, I'm really proud of the angry eyes. Kitty Grinch, see, Kitty Grinch indeed. Ain't he adorable?
Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of looks like a kitty.
Yeah, angry kitty.
Green kitty.
All right,
It's me as a kitty.
nicely
Yes.
done, Chris. Well done with the Grinch.
There
All
we
right.
go.
Now let's go over to Allie.
All right. I may have done this one last year, but she is my favorite Christmas character. It's Clarice,
also
Rudolph the
really cute.
Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Not
I love
from
her.
Silence of the Lambs, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah. Not from that.
Could have fooled me.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So she has her little bow, because, you can't have Clarice without her little bow, and her eyelashes, because she has, like, really big eyelashes, and she's just adorable.
Love it.
So, very nice.
Last year you made her brown.
I don't have brown this year, okay? Stop adding me!
Uh-huh. Mhm.
I did the best that I could with what I had.
Mhm.
She's closer to yellow anyway. She's blonde. Rudolph is brown.
That's true. All right, Nick, let's go back to the Brady Bunch screen here.
All right. Here it is. So we are going to run the poll for 1 minute. So everybody get ready. We're going to start the poll. You're going to vote for who you think had the best.
Everybody
Christmas
hold your cookies up in front of your faces there.
That's right.
Or next
All
to your
right.
face.
Let's
go.
Change the wording
Oh,
on this.
shit.
Hold your
Sorry.
cookie up.
I was telling my Discord that they need to come vote for me.
Wow. Okay. You don't
There
trust
you go.
anybody that's even
And-
already to win?
3,
Nightmare Before Christmas,
2,
baby.
1, go.
Oh, we've
Jigglypuff
been going
says
the whole
vote for
time.
me.
Judy
Vote for
is
my
a Christmas
cookie. It's obviously
character.
the best. This
I
is
don't know how
actually
to-
a Christmas character. It's a classic from our
Excuse
Excuse me.
childhood.
Excuse me. Wow. Insulted.
This one is
I
a
have a Christmas
reindeer
character,
who
too.
flies in the sky with Rudolph,
Dude,
who
Hey,
guides
the
their
older
sleigh
you
Mine's a
get,
at
the
night.
more
skeleton.
relatable the Grinch is, guys. Remember that. The older you
I
get,
don't
the
know.
more
We
relatable
need
the Grinch
Christmas
is.
cheer during Christmas. Clarice
The
brings
Grinch-
us Christmas cheer.
The
The
Grinch
Grinch
is
makes
very
people
cheerful.
angry, like
This
me.
is
No, he's just
competitive.
a misunderstood man.
This is
who
competitive, and
was
Chris is,
rejected
I
by
I
his
did
own
blending,
town.
okay?
Chris,
I blended
yeah,
Over
blue
here
and
having a
pink.
good time. That's all I am.
I think
Plus,
Chris
Allie doesn't
might,
have a Jigglypuff holding up his Grinch.
15
No,
seconds.
it's my own
left.
hand.
Get your
I
vote
don't
in.
need help.
Wow.
I'm not
Mine has
voting.
I just wanted to say
Sally's
hi.
red hair is there.
No, you just
in case
scared her
anyone's
away.
wondering.
Bye.
There's the
I'm
dog.
sorry, Jigglypuff.
Yeah, I told you I wasn't one of the options. Sorry, buddy.
And it looks
it.
like Chris is the
No.
winner of round
Yay.
1.
Woo!
Chris is cleaning up on
Guys.
holiday.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Yeah, if you need to put in your Discord to have your community come vote for you, and now's the time.
Yeah, you might need those.
Share it on your
reinforcements.
Snapchat, whatever you need to do, because Chris is cleaning up in holiday week, and somebody needs to come in and shut him down.
Nah,
You're
let me have this.
You're just fortunate I haven't been
This.
on the other ones, especially the trivia one. You wouldn't have had a chance.
Oh, bro.
Trivia was
no,
rough,
buddy.
honestly.
Oh, no.
It was
All
so
right.
bad.
I was doing pretty darn good at trivia.
All right, Nick. What are the other two categories? The content and
So we'll go let's do the all around holiday cookie, and then we'll do the community one or the content community one last.
okay. So all around holiday cookie. All right. Let's start with Allie.
Okay.
All right.
So this is kind of a joint one between holiday and community based, because everyone in my community knows that I'm literally obsessed with Yuri on Ice right now. And Yuri on Ice is an ice skating anime. I love it. So therefore I made an ice skate because I also want to learn how to figure skate. Dana?
I still think when you do start taking those lessons, you need to get video.
I want to take a video of it.
Post it.
I'm gonna be a prodigy at ice skating. That's how much I believe in myself with this cookie. It's just proving
Wow.
I'm a prodigy at ice skating.
Manifesting
That's a-
2023.
Very nice,
yeah.
nice looking cookie there.
Thank you. I'm pretty proud of this one.
All right, let's go over to Chris. We'll go
Oh god.
backwards
Okay.
here.
I tried my best, but I tried to make a snowflake. It looks like just scribbles and just blue, and I tried to outline it, and like I was like, "This is just terrible." I couldn't.
It's beautiful, Chris. I love it so much.
I was like, I can't. It's too thick. I don't know what to do. So that's the snowflake,
There was an attempt.
just like the one
I
on my
see it.
sleeve.
But, yeah, there we go. That's what applies to Chris's cookie. Her snowflake.
Oh
cookie.
my gosh.
Well, they do say that no two snowflakes look alike, and let's be thankful that's true.
Sometimes they don't even look like snowflakes. So
Thankful that's true. Oh my god.
Let's go over to Mag.
Okay, I'm actually pretty proud of this one. So this one's a snow globe for Christmas, and I made a snowman and everything.
Cute.
And there's like a forest in the background right there and snowflakes. So that's
That
fun.
I love
is
that.
cool in 3D in relief.
Yeah, game changer. That's mine.
All right. Nicely done. All right, Scoob. This is a 3D snowman. There we go.
Yeah, so I went like multimedia with this, right? Because it's 3-dimensional, so I'm really using everything at my disposal to like bring this to life for you guys as Frosty came to life. But mine is called Chunky because he's 3-dimensional. He's a chunky boy, and he's got a little sprinkle for a nose. So I just think my attention to detail is chef's kiss. So vote for Chunky.
Vote for Chunky. 2023.
So might as well
All
be. If that's what takes it to win, then it's Olaf.
All right, that's the 4. Nick, let's go back to our Brady Bunch and then get our poll ready here.
all right, poll is ready.
This is tough. This other than the snowflake, this could be pretty close.
Yeah, because the snowflake's
Literally
gonna
listening
win.
to the soundtrack
It's
right
abstract.
now.
It makes you think. Okay,
It
it's
looks
not just a
like-
snowflake.
It's the Grinch's snowflake, just as grumpy as he is.
We need Allie's skate blade to obliterate
Yeah.
the snowflake cookie. Like,
The snowflake came from her skate blade when she went on the ice.
Okay.
No, I stay upright. I don't fall down.
All right, poll is starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we got the snow globe, Chunky the 3D snowman, the ice
Give me
skate,
pity votes.
and the Jackson Pollock snowflake cookie.
I'm just making a mess all over.
I need to vote for
It's
myself.
just falling all over.
Sprinkle nose.
My lovely Yuri and Ice ice skate. Everyone needs to watch Yuri and Ice. It is the best anime ever.
Co-sign on that
10 out
one.
of 10 recommend. It makes me so happy inside.
What's that movie? I'm probably dating myself here. There's an older movie where the hockey player turns into a figure skater.
Wait, is this from
it-
Disney?
No.
Oh.
No, it's
It
not.
was a Disney movie like that.
All right,
Ice
let's do a
skate,
high
ice
brain.
skate,
It's
Ice skate.
but there's a line in there. They toe pick. She keeps saying toe pick because he's used to hockey skates.
All right, time is almost up, and we have a 2-way tie right now.
Vote for mine. Vote for mine. No.
We had a
Vote
2-way
for
tie.
Mine.
Allie,
So-
it was
Wait, so
the cutting edge.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
do me and
All
Allie
right.
have
I
to
feel like
like
I've heard
fight?
that movie.
This is a tie.
All right.
So
Between now
we
and
Ice
have
Scoot,
Princess, that might be it.
bare knuckle boxing.
I
There's
think that
so many sprinkles on my laptop.
I think the
Nate,
one
I
that
feel like you
Asian,
get to choose.
I think the one that that Chris got should go to Megs, and it should be a 3-way tie for the win. Can I choose that?
Well, we're
All right.
gonna run it for
No.
one more minute, and now it's Allie and Scoot. So now pick sides. Here we go,
Man, oh man,
Oh,
oh
down-
man,
down
oh
to
man, oh
two.
man.
God.
and
Oh,
go.
I gotta play history maker for myself.
And Allie, I'm not voting. I'm taking zero responsibility for pissing anybody off.
Vote for
on this.
Chunky. Wait, sorry guys. I started biting him because he looks so good.
My heartbeat. Gotta time to fit in. Never
Votes go to his
Wait.
surgery. Votes go to his
Scoop's
surgery.
taking an early
Just let
lead.
that.
Vote for Allie.
My dreams will come true. There'll be no more darkness when you believe in your hearts. No, vote for me!
Vote for
Scoob,
Allie.
I think
on
we
that.
need to
I'm
replace
singing for you.
Chunky the snowman.
He
Oh,
needs
no, it's
some.
time.
My heart on fire.
Chunky,
So stop
Chunky.
us now. A moment of
Put him
truth.
on love.
We were born to make
Vote
history.
for Chunky.
Guys, this is
Wants
so much.
this. He
This is so
needs
much.
this. His family needs this.
No!
There's
This
just
is
5
Christmas
cents
bonus.
today.
This is his Christmas bonus. Please don't make him look at his kids.
Oh,
Oh, Chunky.
oh, the queen has fallen.
You ate him? How rude.
He's good.
Poor Chunky. At least I didn't eat mine.
Oh man,
Y'all
that's
should have voted for
exactly.
me.
All right, we
Oh,
have
okay.
one
Shows how good he is.
final. we have one final cookie left, and we did get a peek at Allie's, which is pretty good. So we got to see what the rest of the team put together here. But this one is your content or community representation. So Nate, who are we starting with?
Let's start with Meg.
Oh, okay. So mine's a dead guy.
I like it.
So again, explain why.
I'm a true crime podcaster, and I talk about dead people. So it just made sense. And it's a ghost cookie too, so it kind of all together my spookiness. So ghost cookie, dead guy.
Nice. Toy's a
Here it
big
is.
fan.
All right.
Like it.
All right, let's go over to Chris.
All right, so
Let's redeem
Here's a
yourself for the snowflake cookie.
for reference, this is Bear. He is a Pyrenees that I
Aw.
used to work with at. That's not Bear. That's not Bear either. But that was cute. That's Bear. He's a
Aw.
Pyrenees that I used to work with at a dog daycare. So
You brought the source
He-
material.
he kind of got the whole like I want to show him off to my community started and everything, and he became a mascot kind of. So I turned Bear into a cookie. He's got a little extra white on the ears. I know he's got a little nose tip on the simple yet effective.
It kind of looks like a sock puppet.
love this. I
like
love
it.
it so much.
It looks like a
So
polar bear.
great.
Oh yeah, it
what-
looks like a polar bear. You should have just called it a polar
Yeah, I
bear.
was thinking the same thing.
It's adorable.
So, Chris, not that I can do any better, but that's literally one step up from stick figures.
Yeah, and
But it looks like him. If it's not broke, don't fix
Well,
it.
it does look
Exactly.
like a bear. It does look like a bear.
Oh my gosh.
All right. All right, then let's go to we'll leave Allie for last since she was the queen from last year, and go to Scoob here. Let's see what you
All
got
right.
for your community
Okay,
here.
so I had to do my namesake. It's a scooter. And there's a lot of pink because we love pink in Scootsville, if you can't tell. And here's my real scooter. I also have source material. And I'd like to just point out that like it's like a sugar and spice kind of deal. I got a sprinkle mix that says unicorn party for this,
Ooh.
as well as one that says over the rainbow. So I've got like cupcake and like gold pieces and little rainbows. And I just feel like that's what makes up my community. We're sweet and rainbow and unicorns and cute
Cupcakes.
love. Cupcakes, yes. And all wrapped up in a scooter.
Very nice.
Love it. All right.
All right, and let's
Well.
go over to Allie
Yeah,
for the
I
last cookie of the night.
I am none of those things. I like whiskey.
Mhm.
So I made whiskey.
hell yeah.
Solid.
It's Maker's Mark with this little circle thing because we do Whiskey Wednesdays every Wednesday because I like whiskey.
She likes whiskey.
That's well done. You
That's
can definitely,
it. That's it.
you can definitely
That's all I
tell
got.
what that is. For sure.
Thank you. I tried. I had several other options. I did just a glass of whiskey and I was like, nah, that's not it. And I tried
That's
another
not it.
one. I was like, that doesn't look good. So
Mm,
this is the one I landed with.
I like it. It looks
Thank
like
you.
just like the bottle. You also brought your
Yeah, thank
reference
you.
material.
Yeah.
I did, yeah. I
that.
have the
Source
reference
material,
material as
guys.
well. It's
I-
right
I-
here.
Well, I don't think I can talk about the dead guy I have, so sorry.
What was his name? I want to know.
Can't talk about it.
Fair.
Yeah, can we see the source material just for
Please.
purposes?
Like, I need an autopsy report too.
Oh,
All right, let's go
Amazing.
back
Yeah.
to the split
Right.
screen then.
Maker's Mark.
Yes, and then we gotta get the votes in 3, 2, 1.
Dead
Get
guy.
those votes in.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
He's wearing a really nice
Whoa,
shirt.
whoa, whoa,
too.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Scoop, 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 scoop.
And he's even being stabbed. Though that's blue sprinkles.
That's a good detail.
Yeah,
Rainbow,
Christmas.
rainbow,
Still Christmas.
pink and
Oh,
rainbow.
Megs and
Mag and
Scoop.
Scoot are tied up right now.
Because everyone loves dead people.
That's a good one. It does fit your community.
Truly, truly.
Cookie, real scooter. Can you even tell the difference?
Oh, Chris
Even
just
vote for myself. There we
died.
go.
Allie,
no,
Ah!
There.
I will do a cheers if I win. I will
Dog.
drink straight from the bottle if you all vote
Dog.
for me right now.
Dog. Come on, you dog lovers.
Yeah.
We're a dog community, not a cat community.
Mistakes.
or polar bear lovers. Or
Ellie's like, I will burn your
lovers.
house to the
Oh,
ground if you do not vote for me and my cookie. I swear to fuck.
Then you
I'm
will
just
be the
saying.
dead cookie.
Remember, I represent all dog lovers and
You'll
all the
be
alley
Max's
cats
source
chat.
material.
Oh, Chris
Oh,
and Allie
no.
with the tie.
We had it.
Allie,
Oh, okay. Mod
Oh,
versus
boy.
streamer.
Yeah,
We had
yeah. I
another
mean, you're
two
streaming
out
too.
of
man.
Fair.
I just ate
Dog,
cookies.
guys.
Remember,
Remember, come on, guys.
I will
dogs.
drink from this bottle if I win.
So,
I speak
okay,
for all
so-
the dog
hold on.
lovers in the alley cats.
Nick, before you post this,
Okay.
who won
Woof,
the
woof,
who won the holiday character?
Scooter.
Chris.
Holiday
Scooter?
character was
What?
No,
Chunky.
I don't know. I don't know.
Who was it?
Scoob won the overall holiday cookie.
yep, that was
The
Chris.
This is making my arm
the
tired.
holiday-
Whew.
It was either the Grinch or Clarice. Was it?
It was
No, it
was
wasn't me. It was Chris. Chris
It was
won.
Chris.
Chris
won.
Scoot. Chris
Okay,
and Scoot.
so if Chris takes this, he's the champion for this
Yes.
season. He will have
We
won
can't let that happen.
Come on,
two of the
Can't
three
let that happen.
categories. So now it's all died this last
There's a
couple
lot
years.
riding on this.
Chris versus Allie.
Underdog story, guys. We love a good underdog story.
But we do love
Underdog,
whiskey here.
underdog.
Whiskey
Remember,
makes us
I
feel
just made a
warm and
good
happy
pun,
on the
guys.
inside.
give me the
It
pun
makes all
votes.
my Grinch vibes go away. And I know it makes yours go away too.
Dogs
Okay.
make
I'm
my
just now
Grinch
looking at
vibes
the
go
chat.
away.
Thanks for the votes.
Allie knows where everyone lives, and she will come to your house and burn it down.
I
So I'm just saying.
will.
I'm just
I'll
saying.
make a true crime
Or-
podcast.
I
Or
won't
I
do
can
that
come
because
over
I'm
to
a
your
nice
house and we'll
guy.
cheers together. It's up to
Mhm.
you guys.
Choose wisely.
Potential homicidal maniac. We don't want that.
Soon I'll be
Thank
on the
you, Callie.
podcast, but for a very
Underdog.
different reason.
All right, we're gonna run the
I
poll.
will
Let's
fireball
put
in.
this barking dog away in 3, 2, 1. Vote.
We weren't running the poll that whole time. What were we doing?
Nope,
No.
now we are.
Whoa, come
Now
on.
it's between me and Chris.
Come
Chris,
on.
you're going now.
Underdog.
All right.
Underdogs, guys.
Oh my
We love an
god,
underdog
Chris, you
story.
are sweeping this. Chris, you are freaking sweeping this.
It's like
Oh,
when the
wow.
little like kid enters in like drawing contests and like they just do their best, but everyone votes for it because they feel bad for the kid. That's what's happening.
I think Chris trained for this. He told
Can I
me
put
that
my
he
cookie
did
down?
like
I'm gonna put it
20 practice cookies like just yesterday.
I can see it.
down.
He went to,
This
he went
is-
to cookie.
I went to
decorating
cookie college.
This
Yeah,
is
you
a
know, college.
travesty. This is a travesty.
Chris is Father Christmas here, I think.
Speaking of cookie college, you can go to a college that will teach you about different kinds of elves. And I think it's
Oh, Allie just took a jump.
somewhere, I don't even know. It was pretty crazy.
She pinged your Discord.
I don't think it's enough.
Uh,
Not enough.
Mm.
Nicely
All right,
done,
well,
Chris.
the votes are in.
Oh, woof.
It looks like
Congratulations, Chris. Why are we looking at me? Don't look at me.
Chris, champion of the cookie decorating competition. Congratulations.
Horrible.
Applause. Chris, would
Yeah.
you like to give any final words before we sign off?
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank everybody for this opportunity. This was a lot of fun. Scoots, I can't believe this happened. I beat you. Thank you very much for your
Oh my
time.
God.
Yeah.
I was like, what did I do? Why am I getting a thank you? But it wasn't. It was
Cheers. This was really fun. Thanks for having me on. This was really awesome, guys.
Awesome. Well, congrats, Chris. Let's give everybody a sign off. So we'll start with you. When and where can people find you?
All right. I will stream on Twitch on Mondays, 10 o'clock with Stardew Valley, actually, with Mags, who's in a lot of our communities. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30, Asian Man 593 on Instagram, TikTok, and Man 593 Asian on Twitter.
Love it. Scoots.
I will be streaming next on Tuesday. I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I'm going to be painting myself into the Grinch, inspired exactly from Chris's cookie.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be face painting myself into the Grinch for a little Chris cosplay this upcoming Thursday for like a little holiday. Twitch stream, and then I also post a lot on TikTok if you want to find me there. I'm Scooter Babe on Twitch and Scooter Babe _ on TikTok.
Love it. Nate?
I am Beard one of two on Two Beards Please podcast. You can find us everywhere podcasts are podcasted, or our website, twobeardsplease.com. Also has links to all of our social media. We're at Two Beards Please on all platforms of which we participate.
Love
And we've got a new episode coming out tomorrow, Christmas songs we don't hate. So look for that to come out tomorrow.
Mags?
So I am You Don't Want to Know podcast. I'm on like every streaming platform for podcasts. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at YDWK podcast. And then I have a podcast coming out on the 24th about the real Christmas elves. So very pumped about that one.
And Allie?
Hello, I'm Allie. I promise I won't actually come to your houses. I'm not that mean. But you can find me here on Twitch at Allison. I'm currently going live Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. But my schedule does plan on changing. But every Wednesday, I drink whiskey. That is not a lie. And I have cats
It's true.
named Arlo and Oswald, and they're very cute. So come check us out. Yay.
And of course, you can head over to TitanMediaCollective.com to find all of our amazing creators like Kale Salad, who streams tomorrow, and also Toy Reaper 7, who also streams tomorrow. So go click on their profiles, give them a follow. They're amazing Titan creators. And we have a whole lineup of other podcasters, streamers who were not able to make it tonight, but are equally as amazing. And with that, we are going to move into our Titan TV. We're running a few minutes behind, but we are moving into our Titan TV lineup tonight. So stick around. Starting off with the Josie Show, gaming from scratch. So if you love gaming and streaming, we have there's a really cool guest on tonight. So you're gonna want to hear that interview. We have Throne Breaks, which is sports cards. They talk all collectibles, and this week they're actually talking Funko Pops. So if you like those, you're gonna want to stick around for that too. Followed by Who Wore It Best, more sports. And then Boozing on a Budget, the whiskey episode. So just a ton of really cool content. It's going to still be streamed here on Twitch and on YouTube. So stick around, and we will see you all next time. Well, or in 30 seconds when I hit go on the Josie Show. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Hi everybody, my name is Josie, Apex content creator and a Twitch streamer. And today we have our guest, Ross the Squirrel. He is also a content creator. He does the majority of his stuff on YouTube and TikTok. So absolutely feel free to check him out. We're gonna talk a bit about his journey and his experience as a creator and answer some questions. So we'll go ahead and bring him in. Come on in, Ross.
Hey Josie, how's it going?
Hey, going well. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for asking.
Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate you
Yeah.
being here. I'm super excited to dig in and to tell everybody a bit about your experience. I know that yours, the other people that I've had on here haven't been as big, at least on the TikTok side. So I
Sure.
think it'll be really awesome for everybody to hear about your content creation journey there. How many followers are you at, and like views? Give us some stats really quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to be here, and thanks for having me. So right now have about 134, maybe 134,000, right over 130,000 on TikTok. And I started that about a year and a half ago. So I started that in 2021. Probably, if I were to, take an educated guess, somewhere around maybe 150 million to 175 million views across all my videos on TikTok.
Yes.
And then YouTube, I have about 24,000 subscribers there as well.
Yes.
So,
yes. So that's
it's-
awesome. You're
yeah,
one of the bigger
it's crazy.
creators, which is really exciting.
Yeah, cool.
But
I know
so-
I'm not that big, but I'm still proud of it, but trying to keep growing for sure.
Yeah, it's so funny because whenever you're at that milestone, you're like, oh, I don't feel like I'm that big, or like you compare
Right.
yourself to others. But then when
Right.
someone else sees you, they
Sure.
think, like, oh my gosh, because I was even thinking for myself, like I'm at a little over 10,000.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first started, like that would be crazy to me, even just to think about 10,000. But now that I'm
Mhm.
there, I'm like, I'm so small. I'm a tiny little fish in like a huge pond.
Right. I
And
got
then,
you.
And then even if I were to hit 100K or even in the millions,
Yeah.
you're still probably going to be like, oh, like that's great, but I still
Sure.
feel.
Yeah, it's hard not to compare yourself. Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone does it, and especially on social media.
Especially with TikTok, with the virality
Oh, yeah.
factor being
Mhm.
so easy now and accessible to everybody. But I will say I've seen a lot of videos blow up and people don't get the followers though. Like the
Sure.
ratio is not there. And so
Yep.
I think like even my videos that have gone well from a small scale, I'll sometimes get a lot more followers from that.
Yeah.
And then the ones that even go super viral, you know?
Mhm.
So it's all about that consistency. I feel
100%.
like, which
Yes.
which we'll get into more. So let's talk about your gaming journey. I always like to open
Sure.
with that. Like, how did you start? I know you're a console player. Like, how old were you? What games have you gotten into?
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk about
Yeah.
that.
So I've definitely been a gamer like all my life. Trying to think back like to the earliest that I can even remember, probably when I was like 5 or 6 years old. Totally started out on like a Game Boy Color. Played that as I was in the back of my parents' car, just driving to the store or wherever. Really have mostly, been on console. I just got a PC like a year ago, but
yes, I remember when you were first looking for that.
yeah. That's a whole new world for me, was trying to figure out a PC, but really started with console stuff, had a Game Boy Color, then moved to like a PS2 and then a Wii and then a 360. And then I've stayed like PlayStation from there on out. So I've got the PS4 and the PS5. PS5 is what I use for all my content stuff. But really with like content creation and everything like that, it's been something I wanted to do for so long. And I'm in my mid 20s and I didn't start until I was like 25, 26 doing all of this stuff. But I really wanted to do it for a really long time and just kind of talked myself out of it, or thought I wasn't going to be able to really go anywhere with it. Started playing Apex, right when it came out, the day that it came out, and really enjoyed it. And even with that, I didn't start making content until it was out for more than like 2 years. But something just clicked. I was like, hey, I'm actually just going to try it, see where it goes, see what happens. And I'm really glad that I did, because it's opened up some awesome opportunities for myself. And I just really enjoy it, which is really cool.
What was the click for you for when you wanted to try content? Was it really just this is something I've kind of wanted to do and now I just wanted to give it a shot?
Yeah.
Or did someone inspire you?
Yeah. So I tried before, I don't even remember, like before COVID and everything, I tried very briefly streaming on Twitch. And I knew that I didn't have too much of a setup just starting on my console. But it's still doable for sure. And I tried it and I was like, you know what, I'm not really being consistent right now. I'm not really in like cards for me at the moment. So I kind of stopped there and then reevaluated and thought about it a little bit harder of how I wanted to start out and everything. And then decided to actually just go for it. I was kind of going back and forth if I was going to try again. And I did. Didn't really have anyone in particular. Like I didn't really watch too many streams or anything like that initially to get me excited or interested in it. I kind of really, what was like the deciding factor for me was I finally downloaded TikTok and I started watching TikToks and I saw what other people were doing. And I was like, okay, I personally think I could do this at least at the same quality that someone is doing, if not maybe a little bit better. And that's kind of the driving factor that I had.
I think one of the best things about there's so many good things, but what I love about what you do is your editing. Your editing is absolutely insane. How long did it take you to get there? Did you have inspiration from that? Like, I really want to hear about that today, because I feel like that's where you really stand out and that's where you've made your mark,
Thank you. I appreciate that. So really funny with all of that. So again, when I started all this, I literally just had my PS4, like just had my console. I wasn't using my PC to edit or anything like that. And I think that's where, people can think you need so much like high-end stuff to get going. And you really don't. I literally started from, I don't even know, for the first 6 months, which in those 6 months, I probably got 30 to 40,000 followers on TikTok. And in that time, I literally edited on my on my PlayStation. Like there is
Wow,
share,
I didn't
yeah.
know that actually. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there's the Share Factory app is what it's called. It's on both PS4 and PS5. I would edit on the console. I would do my voiceovers on there and everything. And it's in horizontal format. So it's on like, you know, it would be better suited for YouTube, but I would edit it all on there, send it to myself on my phone via the PlayStation app, download it on my phone, use an app like InShot or CapCut, and make it vertical video and post it. Like there were definitely a lot of steps that I needed to do, but I got it to work. I didn't spend the money right away, didn't need that investment of a PC up front. And then I would just, you know, post that way. But then once I got my PC, and now what I've done for the last year, I use Adobe Premiere Pro, you know, looked at some videos, looked at some just tips and everything, and seeing what other creators were doing to kind of then make my own personal way of editing that I wanted to, but taking into account like what works well and what doesn't. And for myself, I really enjoy video editing, but I know that like I decided to go with Premiere Pro just because I wanted to learn that program, because I know it's such like a marketable skill to have, especially with the other Adobe Creative Suite products or programs.
I like Premiere Pro the best as well.
Yeah.
I think it's good, and there is a bit of a learning curve. Did you ever have a moment where you were just so frustrated or like you had certain things, or was it pretty smooth for you because of your editing, or did you just YouTube like?
Yeah, there's definitely, you know, starting out frustrations for sure that I would say that I would run into when I was learning Premiere Pro. I can't think of like a specific example that I have, but definitely if there's anything that came up, I would just head over to YouTube and it would pretty much sort itself out that way. Which is
I
nice.
would walk away if I couldn't get it from YouTube. Like I would try, of course, to research and see. And sometimes you just need to walk away, especially if you've been at it for a few hours. And then right when you come back, it's either fixed or you click something and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely been times where I just like accidentally click something on the keyboard and the whole like window just looks completely different. I'm like, okay, I don't know what I did.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, I think Premiere Pro was, for myself, relatively easy to learn just because I'm familiar with other Adobe products. Yeah. Like especially Adobe, like Photoshop and Illustrator, which isn't necessarily for video editing, but just kind of understanding, you know, the way that Adobe is set up a little bit helps for sure. But something that was really foreign and hard for me was OBS with streaming. That was
I think so. It's so funny because I've had a couple people on before and they've all talked about their journeys, of course. And it is really interesting to see that a lot of people have similar backgrounds of where you don't really need much. And I think that's so many people think you need the top tier equipment, you need to spend all this money. And like my webcam was only $30 or so, especially if you get a Black Friday deal. I think Razer had something, if you get a streaming setup. OBS is free, and you don't even necessarily need a computer. We had one girl and she borrowed her computer from her friend and she literally would lug the computer into her room, replug it in when he left for work, and then came back during the day. So
that's crazy.
You just work with what you have. But and she even said, and a few other people were saying that if you're not a tech person, the streaming side of like learning all the technology and seeing that stuff. And I've even avoided some of the cool features. I know I'm not using probably a quarter of the features that you can use.
For sure.
But yeah. So how with YouTube, do you find, because you did Twitch and then YouTube, do you find a big difference of the usefulness, like with tools, or somebody's like, let's talk about the pros and cons of somebody's debating going on one platform versus another?
So for myself, I was bouncing back and forth last year between Twitch and YouTube for streaming. Wasn't really sure which one I wanted to go with. I like both. I think both have ups and downs for sure. But for me, knowing that I was going to be making these TikToks, which I could also use as YouTube Shorts, and then longer form videos for regular YouTube videos and streaming, to me, it just made sense to have that all compiled on one platform, which is YouTube. Where Twitch, you're basically just making it where you do have to be like live to to use the platform. Like people aren't going to be going to Twitch to find your clips realistically at the end of the day.
Right.
So I kind of realized with that, I was like, you know what? I want to bounce over to YouTube, give it a go with streaming and see how it goes. but also YouTube has invested a lot more into their streaming platform to compete with Twitch in the last year, which has been awesome. And I think I hopped on at the right time.
I think so too. If I could have redone it, I'm stuck on Twitch. Like that's where everybody is, and that's where I feel most comfortable. But if I could redo it, I would have gone on YouTube. And also, when you're a Twitch streamer and you're trying to get partnered, they ask you for your YouTube and they ask you for your Twitter. So if you already have your YouTube built, exactly like what you said, why not just do it all in one spot? And then the subscriptions, it's easier for monetization. I feel like too. Yeah.
And transparently, like YouTube takes less money from the creators than Twitch does.
Yep. And Twitch is getting more and more greedy, which is crazy because it's like you're already taking, like, you really don't need to. It's ridiculous.
The one thing that I do think is interesting that and this is my speculation and just my thoughts, I don't think brands from it, sponsorship related stuff, are really looking at YouTube streamers at the moment, because I do think I am missing out on that from not streaming on Twitch. Twitch, with the CCV, the concurrent viewers that I get on YouTube, like I strongly feel like I would be able to be partnered on Twitch, since I have like 100 plus in my YouTube streams all the time. I average 100 at least. But I feel like if I was partnered on Twitch, just having that like check mark and having all of that, I think the brands are still looking over at Twitch and for larger creators, specifically streaming. If you're a large creator on YouTube, those opportunities are there. But when it comes to like a large creator on YouTube posting long form videos, those opportunities are there, but I don't know if they're there just yet for streamers.
What do you think that it's comparable for Twitch partner with how many views that you get on Twitch regularly versus YouTube? Like, is it, because I know with Twitch, the competition and the way the discoverability, everything is so much, it's really challenging there. But with YouTube, I'm not as familiar because I'm not on there. Would you say that they're comparable, where if you have like 100 views in YouTube, it's just as challenging for Twitch? Or do you think that there are some, like, there's some easier or harder things from YouTube versus Twitch from like that partner standpoint or that check mark?
So it definitely, it feels like YouTube almost needs like some middle tier element, if that makes sense. Like Twitch, you've got the affiliate, which realistically at the end of the day is pretty easy to hit. You need 50 followers, average like 3 viewers and all that. YouTube, to be partnered, you need 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours over, I think it's the last 90 days, or is it the last year? If I'm misremembering that, but then that's it. Then you don't get the check mark until you get 100,000 subscribers.
Oh my gosh, that's such a big jump.
So you don't get that like official check mark, which is then like next to your name and comments and on your channel page and everything like that. You don't get that until you're at 100,000. So there's that middle ground that I feel like specifically from a streaming perspective would be really nice to have on YouTube if you hit a certain amount of concurrent viewers or how many times you stream in a week, chatters, etc., anything like that. That's where I feel like YouTube might be lacking a little bit. Also, I do think Twitch has a much better integrated chat platform or chat feature, like live chatting, than YouTube. That's where YouTube's a little bit lacking, I would say.
Yes, that's what I'd heard as well. But again, I haven't experienced it. And I think that's also why I'm stuck on Twitch, because that's already where everybody is. But that's where I thrive is based off of that chat. Because I'm not that good of a player. And
I hear you. And that's what I do too. It's all about chat for me.
Yes. And so that's super important and valuable for that. But also, I think it's a good point, though, because like you said, YouTube is investing to compete with Twitch. And so I think that over time, YouTube is eventually going to surpass Twitch, especially as content creators are going to get so frustrated with how they're treating, how much money is being taken. And also even like going on the female side, there's been a lot instances that I've seen where Twitch is not taking it seriously at all about like harassment and serious problems. And Twitch has just completely overlooked it. And then they'll post things like, "Oh, we support our women," and they're like, "Oh, really?"
Right. And they don't really stand by like what they're putting out there.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like that might scare some people away too.
Yep, I hear you. I think YouTube knows that they know that their creators are what make their platform.
Yeah.
And I don't think Twitch puts that out there. Like they're not expressing that love, I guess, but YouTube does, which is good.
I completely agree. I want to talk to you about how you got your name.
Yeah.
Because I know that you originally had Ross Bob and now Ross the Squirrel. So I think that's a really good story.
Yeah, 100%. So, my name is a really funny story. So my good friend who I play Apex with basically every day, his name is Bob Ross Squirrel. He's the OG. So he's got the name. And if you guys are familiar at all with Bob Ross, he's, he used to have a TV show. He would paint very therapeutic paintings, and his voice was just really calming. But he also had
trees.
happy little trees, happy little accidents. Yeah. Happy little accidents. The white titanium or whatever, all the different colors. He had pet squirrels that would be on the show. So Bob Ross Squirrel is my good friend. And I wanted to be, exactly like him and have a similar name, since we would always play duos together in Apex, and thought it'd be funny, basically having the same name. So my name was Ross Bob Squirrel. And then I started all this content stuff, and I was like starting to grow. And I was thinking in the long term, I was like, don't want to potentially get sued or have any legal issues.
I know,
with,
we were talking about that.
With the Bob Ross company. So I changed it to be a little bit more generic, but still keeping like the Ross name. And then I think the squirrel part is kind of funny. So
So do you know why he came up with the squirrel part, or?
No. Like I lived with him in college. Like we would just throw on Bob Ross sometimes, like on Netflix at just in the evening and stuff like that. And one year, him and his now wife went as Bob Ross, and then she went as his like the paint. Is it easel? Is that the right terminology?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. And so that's what they went as Halloween one year. And but like literally with like real paint, and he like painted her throughout the night. So like Bob Ross has just
such a good idea.
Yeah, it's actually they have really good ideas for Halloween. But Bob Ross has just been something that's been in our lives for a while. And I think he just likes the squirrels that are on there. So it's
there you
funny.
go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do people ever get confused, or how often do you ask about your name?
Oh yeah. So if people ever like make a video where they mention me or something like that, or like an article gets written or something like that, like on a gaming site, so many times they'll say Bob Ross Squirrel. It's really funny. So they'll use his name. But yeah, people will ask me about my name, or they'll just shorten it to like Ross, or sometimes they'll just shorten it to Squirrel and stuff like that, which is funny.
Is he still streaming and gaming as well?
He's gaming, yeah. He doesn't stream or anything. No.
Okay.
No. He's like in med school and everything, so he's
he's
crazy busy. But he's the time that he has to game is very surprising to me. So he still games with me, which is really cool.
Yeah,
that's like good. How we stay friends, which is awesome.
That's good. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that where even if you just game with them, it's so nice though too, where even if you do have to take a bit of a break and then you come back and it's just like it never nothing ever changes.
No time passed. Yeah, exactly.
And I think that having that connection, the connectivity with online, just makes that so much easier, and it's so nice.
Oh yeah.
Where in person, like you just wouldn't be able to form those connections, or have it just pass like nothing happened.
I agree.
Stay in touch with people that you haven't stayed in touch with for a while. There was even a girl who I used to work with when I was in high school at a high school restaurant, and she saw that I was a streamer.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, I saw on your Instagram, like I'm thinking about getting into streaming. I'd love to game with you. And I was like, I didn't even know that you gamed, and she didn't know that I did either. Yeah. And so we're gonna play some games together. And I literally haven't talked to her since my high school, and she's like 5 or 10 years older, I think. Okay. So cool. It's just like odd pairings or partnerships that you wouldn't expect.
Right. It definitely is. It's a great way to connect.
Who do you think is one of the coolest or one of the best experiences that you've had from meeting a friend or someone online?
Let me think about that.
I know that's super vast, and I'm sure that there's a lot, but is there anyone who's stuck out, or even a couple of people that have stuck out to you where you just can't believe that you met them online, or like they're somewhere across the world, or even just local, or something crazy like that?
I kind of have a couple answers. So definitely from streaming and just any content creation, stuff like that, especially streaming though, like the community that I have is people all over the world. I mean, that's the craziest thing to me is there's people in Australia or Japan or the UK or anywhere in Europe, you know, that are just tuning in at the exact same time. That's the craziest thing to me.
Do you think that has to do with your TikTok as well to get those, and YouTube, like because of the algorithm to get people from? Do you think TikTok is more of a play with that, or YouTube, or is it both from all over the world?
Probably both.
Okay.
I think also the time that I would stream makes sense too. Because if I'm starting, you know, like afternoon time here in the US, it's going to be potentially nighttime over in Europe. So that definitely plays a factor, I would say, as well.
I think so too. I always, the time that you streamed was always interesting, like in the afternoon.
Sure. Yeah. It works out well, I think, to get different types of people just based on the time. So I would say though, for like other people that I've met, honestly, I'm going to say yourself, because we've been, how long, we've been like, you're just messaging back and forth for so long, and then we always bounce ideas off of each other, and it's super helpful.
Know. Yeah, it really is. I would say, and we met on TikTok too. And I also think this is for people as well, because I am a smaller creator too, for sure. And it can be intimidating sometimes when you do have people in the like 100,000 or even million, when you connect with people. But honestly, like, they're all just the same, you know, like we're all just people, we're all just creating content. And there was even a girl I remember, and she was like, oh my gosh, like I look up to you so much. I eventually want to get to where you are one day. And I'm like, I'm not even that, like, it's so small, but to some people it looks crazy. And
for sure.
And she just passed me, and I was like, "Yay, good for you!" Like, I knew she would, but it was so great, and just the consistency.
I'm sure that felt great, like for you to like see that as well.
Oh, you know? Yeah, she's fantastic. Like I've stayed in touch with her, but and we've known each other for a bit now, right? Like I would say, I think I found you when you were even in the 40,000 followers.
Yeah,
and then you exploded.
It's been at least a year, like for sure.
Because that's when I started taking my content creation somewhat seriously as well, and like dabbling around with some stuff. And then that's when you just get to meet some really cool. It's so awesome when you're following somebody and then it's like, oh, you're mutuals, and you're like, oh my gosh, has that who has that happened with you?
Yes, I've been trying to do that more with just, you know, people similar sized and also smaller than me and also bigger. Just trying to continue to connect with different creators, because everyone's going to bring something new to the table that will help you. You know, just learn and continue to grow. Some big names, I would say, and if you're not familiar, just let me know. But bigger names in like the TikTok world and like YouTube that I've connected with, you know, there's Skeptation, Tony Romero, Garrett, Thornton Smash, bigger names in like Apex that I've connected with. Revin, the nub, is on TikTok. He's got like 200,000 followers. Ankle Sprain has like maybe like 130, 140, something like that. And then, you know, I try to stay connected too with some smaller people as well, smaller creators, just because I think it's good to connect with all different sizes and see what people are doing.
For sure. Do you guys ever, when you connect with them, have you ever created content together, or do you game together? How do you keep those relationships? Yeah,
so one cool thing that I did was
because you have custom lobbies too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just going to go into. So this one guy, he's on YouTube. He streams also on YouTube. His name is Robo Hobo. He has close to probably like 70,000 subscribers, and he streams all the time. And so I reached out to him, seeing, you know, that I just like cold cut, just like reached out to him. Didn't really know him at all beforehand, but had watched his streams a few times, thought he was chill, had a good vibe and everything. And I asked him if he wanted to do, you know, a community versus community type of event in customs within Apex, where we had 30 people from his side going up against 30 people from my side in like a ALGS scrims style tournament. And basically, you know, pretty friendly. We just had people bouncing back over from each stream, kind of, you know, cheering people on, and new people were coming over to my stream, new people from my community going over to his and everything like that. Yeah. And then we just had, you know, kind of like a nice little wager that whichever community won, the other creator just had to gift like 5 memberships on YouTube, which is always nice.
Good.
Yeah. So, you know, kind of bringing some competition into it. So done stuff like that. with some other creators, done just some like funny videos and stuff in private lobbies, or just kind of game together, like ran duos or trios together as well, which is nice.
I do want to talk more about the private lobbies too, because I think that's also something that stands out. But first, we will take a quick break, a quick ad break, and we will be right back.
Sounds good.
Okay, and we are back. So we were talking a bit about private lobbies. I know we were getting into that. So let's talk to me about how you got involved in the private lobbies, how that changed your content game, your interaction with other people. Let's get into that.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, private lobbies in Apex Legends are very, very exclusive, very hard to get. I don't know why. I wish they were more available. They should be more available to the player base, but unfortunately at this time they're not.
So can you add more about what private lobbies are? Because there's a bunch of people here that don't know about gaming. So give a little more, like talk to them like they're 8.
So in Apex, normally you can go ahead and just hop in a game with your friends or completely by yourself, and you're going to be matched with random people around like your similar server area and everything like that. So normal games, that's what basically 99%, if not more, of the player base are doing in Apex. Now, there are private custom lobbies that you are able to create. However, you need approval beforehand from the publisher EA in order to do that. So within this, you can go ahead, choose the map that you want to play. Sometimes there's maps that aren't available in the game for everyone else, like those 99% of players. You can have maps that aren't available in the normal game at the time. You can do as little as many players as you want, up to the max, which is 60 players. You can do both game modes, which is Battle Royale and Arenas. Kind of just allows for some more fun stuff, and we make up our own rules that we can do. Like sometimes we'll do like hide and seek games, or we'll do certain weapons only, which you can't really do that type of stuff in the normal games. Just kind of allows a lot more uniqueness, I would say.
How do you get everybody to work together? And do you ever get people who try to go rogue? Because I know we can have like up to 100 people, or how many people can you have?
So it's 60. Yeah, 60, so it's up to 60.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot to manage. And so what I really like about it, and I'll go back to answer your question, what I really like about it is that I used to do viewer games where I was playing with viewers, and in Apex, you can only squad up with 2 other people max. You can only have a team of 3 total. When I do customs, I can have a full lobby of 60 players that are within my community, all participating and playing at the same time, all together, which is really cool. And yeah, it is a lot to manage when we have all 60 players. When it's something easy, when it's a normal Battle Royale game, there's no rules, it's just a normal game, super easy to manage. When we do something else where it's like hide and seek, which would be 3 players, and then the remaining, which would be 57, like 3 players are seeking, the remaining 57 are hiding around the map and trying to stay hidden. And I make it where those hiders cannot like deal any damage, they can't punch, they can't shoot or anything like that. The seekers are the only ones that are allowed to shoot. Definitely had instances, where people are not following the rules. And I honestly am very strict with my rules, because we have this limited and exclusive ability to do these types of games, that if there's going to be someone that's going to ruin it, I literally have in my Discord, I have a private channel where I just put people's names down if they're banned, because they're just going to ruin the fun. If there's 59 people that are all following the rules and there's that last one person, it ruins everything. So I'm super strict. I'll just, we'll end the game, I'll kick them, and then we'll get someone else in their place. And that's how I describe it. I'm like, if you guys are not going to listen to the rules, someone will, and they'll take your spot and you guys won't play. I kind of have to bring it down as if I'm like a babysitter or a teacher and they are in kindergarten, and that's how I treat it. You have a lot of kids though. You have younger. There are a good amount of teenagers. Sure. Yeah. For sure.
At least, so I know when you were on Twitch, and even with
Yeah.
TikTok, you had a younger crowd,
Mhm.
right? Do you still have that?
I
Or
would
has that changed?
say, yeah, I would say like probably, well, it's actually really interesting because I can look at the demographics, on YouTube and TikTok.
Mhm.
And the last time I looked, that we're at least watching my content, not necessarily participating in like these customs, but watching, the majority it was like the age of like 18 to like 25 or whatever that range is.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a little surprising. I thought it was going to be more like the 13 to 18 range.
Yeah, I honestly did too with my content, and it was like 20 to 30, and I was like, "That's pretty good, though." Like,
right.
I was,
Same.
'cause
Yeah,
it's our age. Yeah.
Right. That's how I was feeling. So that's the second most, is the 13 to like 18 or whatever numbers that they use. But I was still surprised to see that like the majority are around like my age and like the mid 20s, mid to younger 20s
Even on
section.
TikTok too, and
Even on
'cause I
TikTok,
feel
yeah.
TikTok, you would expect maybe a younger crowd, especially.
But there's
with-
also people might lie about their age. You never know.
Yeah. Yep.
You never know. So
Yeah.
you got to take that data with how it's presented.
So when you play with these customs though, and
Yeah.
like can you tell if it's more younger kids or older, or not necessarily once you're in the custom?
You can't tell at all.
Okay.
I can see what platform they're on, so I can see if they're on PC, it's a little PC icon. Since I'm on PlayStation, if they're on PlayStation, it'll be a PlayStation icon. If they're on Xbox then or Switch, it'll just be a controller.
Gotcha.
But there are a good amount of Switch players, and honestly, I would associate a lot of Switch players with a younger audience, just since they might not have the capability of having like a higher end system or something like that to play.
Yeah.
And that's usually what it ends up being. Like, if Switch players are usually going to be a little bit younger, at least in my customs.
Are they because you're so strict with your rules, do you not have as many problems, or do you have like a problem almost every time with at least one?
Yeah, it's probably like, so I'll stream about 3 times a week. And there's definitely been like weeks that we don't have any issues if I'm streaming 3 times. Yeah.
Wow. Do you do custom lobbies every time you stream?
But yeah, like probably if I'm streaming, 3 times a week, so 12 times a month, probably 11 times in the month I'm doing customs.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's
because they're so engaging.
Yeah,
which is great.
And your content,
it's a win-win, because then I can make content out of it that I can, repurpose onto a TikTok video or a YouTube short.
Do you ever miss though the game itself, or like playing actual Apex instead of the customs?
So the thing that's nice is I can decide if I want to be in the game within customs, playing with my community at the same time, or if I want to spectate. So I can choose. But honestly, for myself, I really enjoy just spectating and not playing, at least when I'm streaming, because for me, there's too much going on. Like if I'm sure you know, because you're trying to focus on the game, care about people in chat and interact with them all at the same time. And when I'm spectating and observing, it really allows me to just continuously have a conversation going with chat, which is really engaging. And that's what these people want. Yeah. And what I like about it, they want the attention, and I like interacting with them. And I know I wouldn't be able to give that if I was streaming like ranked or even just a regular playing with viewers pubs style type of games.
Yeah. Especially because you have 100, you said about 100 viewers as well. That's different. I think that once you break through the 60, 70, and it totally depends on how active your chat is, but I find when you get closer to that 100 range, that's when it's harder to keep up with chat. Usually when you're in the 20, 30, 40 or below, and again, it just depends. Sometimes people are spamming and going crazy, but for the most part, it's pretty doable to be reading chat and playing. But yeah, when you're at that higher level, I could totally see that being a lot more challenging.
Yeah. But then I don't feel like, if I'm doing a ranked stream, and if I even have half that, if I have 50 people watching me still chatting, I feel like I'm going to either tank my gameplay, which is not going to be good for the stream or for just myself, especially if I'm playing ranked. Yeah. And then also at the same time, I'm not going to be focusing on chat as much, and it's just going to be a downward spiral from there.
I completely agree. And that's also why a lot of people assume, if you're just a really good player, that's all you need for streaming. I would actually say that's one of the lowest things that you need to be a successful streamer, because there's so many good players, And
You
you're
either
not
need to be that
coming-
top of the top or else.
And even I know people that are literally the top of the top that play ALGS, which is like
Sure.
the tournament for Apex. You have to get in. It's really intense.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you win like tens of thousands of dollars, if not in the hundred thousands.
Yep.
But they will have under 10 viewers.
Wow.
Consistently on Twitch, and they're the top of the top, like one
That's
of the best
crazy.
players. And people just don't like.
Right.
Because if you're not paying attention, it's all about like that community and that
Sure.
that how you handle that, which again we can talk about too with your
Sure.
community and how you let's get into talking about like community, how you manage that, and your thoughts
Sure.
around it.
Yeah, totally. So kind of going back to my mindset of when I started all the content creation and everything with that, biggest thing I was seeing where I wanted to stand out, and just for my own personal beliefs as well, what I was seeing so much in gaming, and it's still so apparent, is it's so toxic at times, whether it's just rudeness towards people, or like sexist stuff or racist stuff, and that does not vibe with me at all. And so I knew that when I started my content stuff, I really wanted to be the polar opposite of that, be very like welcoming and accepting and just open arms to everyone that was coming my way, which has paid off tremendously, because with that, I think we do have a really good community underneath all my socials and everything like that. Whether it's Discord or just in YouTube or on TikTok, people are, for the most part, generally kind to each other, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just what I was really after, and it goes a long way, I think.
I completely agree. I was actually very surprised. I think that what you put out and what your expectations are and kind of how you are as a person and how you guide it, that's what you attract. And it's really cool when you look at your Discord or your chat and you say, wow, like they're all there for me, and this is the group that I brought in. And then when people compliment your community and you're like, wow, like that's my community. Like we did that, we welcomed people in, and for you to nip things in the bud when they're not. People come in and just be like, sorry, we don't do that here. Or like, I think having boundaries and having certain phrases that are just, those are always good. Luckily I didn't really have to handle that too much. I thought I was going to have to a lot more than I did. I think it was helpful because I had such a great mod, but
that's nice.
I was blessed. I was like, wow, this was a lot easier than I even expected,
Yeah. It can get interesting at times, for sure.
For sure. Yeah, especially when people are coming from all over the world and all different platforms, just like what you do.
Yeah. And there's so much stuff like just anything happening in the world, like politics stuff or just anything like that. Yeah. And I try to keep that, at least the way that I look at it. Yeah, try to keep it out. The way I look at it is like gaming and stuff like that is a time to, take a step back, disassociate a little bit from the real world.
Relax.
Exactly. So I usually don't allow like those types of conversations either, because it can just, people have opinions and it can just usually turn sour.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because you're not necessarily, even if you have a good point or a good you want to have a healthy conversation about it, that's not the place. Like there are political streams that you can be on, or there's other, or maybe if you want to message somebody separately, that's fine. But when you're bringing everybody into it and your tone is hard to read when you're chatting and then as a streamer, and then it just gets really uncomfortable because you might want to chime in and then something you're saying is getting taken out of context with what you believe. And it's a lot more complicated than just black and white. That's why politics are politics. So I'm the same way. Like you just really want to be careful about that. Because the last thing you want is for things to get taken out of context, and man, people will be the first one to clip it. You said this, and you're like, no, I didn't.
Right, for sure. Right.
So
exactly. Another thing I was just going to say about community that I've really tried to maintain, and I think we've done a pretty good job of, is, I don't expect that these people are going to like donate and stuff like that on stream. I think people go into content creation being like, I want to do this so I can, make money, quit my job, yada yada, which is like the dream when you think about it. But if you're doing it solely to be like, hey, can I get like here's like $10 from someone or something like that, you know. It's just not the way to do it. I think what I've done that has really helped continue to build a community is by giving back to our community that we have.
Yes.
So if someone like
you do a really good job with that, and it's kind of like a win-win too. I was going to ask about kind of your incentives, and it's good because it helps like build your community from it, but also please talk more about that.
Sure. So we'll just do giveaways a bunch of the time. So there's Apex coins, which you can use to buy stuff in game with. Yeah. So definitely if you're ever getting donated on stream or anything like that, like that is just crazy when you think about it. Like someone is going out of their way to pay you because you're giving them like enjoyment or content or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And whether it's $1 or $100, you got to make sure you're like going crazy for it, because that is so fun. And whatever someone can donate. And I always try to make sure as well that I'm expressing how appreciative I am for those people that aren't donating as well, because there's you don't know everyone's circumstance. They are there, they're showing up like all the time, even if they're not donating. They're giving their time to you,
right, which is just as valuable, if not maybe more.
That's what I think as well. But what I try to do is like, I know that like I have a full-time job, you know, outside of this, so I don't need the money that's coming in from streaming. I just keep trying to either funnel it back into, I bought a PC, you know, like to increase the quality of my streams and all of that, or buying just like new equipment and everything, or giving back to the community. Like the other week we did a 1v1 tournament in Apex where it was like a bracket style, so going down the list. Like first place, we gave away a keyboard and like $50 in PayPal and like stuff like that. So I'm always trying to do fun, unique stuff. Or if I'm just streaming, I'll be like, hey, do you guys want to do an Apex coin giveaway to people that are watching? Give that. Always trying to do stuff to give back. Craziest thing, one person the other week, absolutely insane, donated over $500 on stream, and ridiculous. Like I didn't even know what to say, but I have some really good ideas that I'm trying to do, and just do an awesome tournament / giveaway to the community, because like at the end of the day, I don't need that money. Like I want to keep building the community is what I'm really after. And I know that if I keep putting the money into it, it's just going to keep growing from there. Not even the money, just the size of the
It's like you're investing. It's an investment.
Exactly. That's how I look at it. Yep.
And if you look at the top, even they made a release of how much people were making from Twitch. Yeah. And what was it? Like even the top 0.01% was barely making a livable wage, not even including taxes. Yep. So if you are going into it like that, it's not great. I also think charity streams are really good too. If you can get back there, it was really amazing to see what people were hoping to. And I think also just prefacing again, like you don't have to give. If you want to, it's great. But I was always so uncomfortable, even if we had like goals or like donation goals or something, because you feel bad. It's like, these are just regular people. If anything, you should be asking money from the brands or from YouTube or Twitch, like the big ones, not your community. I agree. So I felt so bad.
The worst part is when there are those people that really want to support you because they care about like what you're doing and stuff like that. And then something on Twitch or on YouTube, they're taking a percentage, which does suck, because like YouTube takes 30%, let's say. So if someone donates $10, $7 is going to me, $3 is going to YouTube. And that's, that person is trying to do that for you. And that sucks that there's just a middleman taking some money because.
Right. Which I guess I get it though, because you have to have a platform, but I still feel like that's a lot. Like, do they really need that? I feel like even if they just did 10%, and which is even crazier.
Which is at, like 50 or whatever.
Yeah. Even with partnered, which is insane. So yeah, a couple more things I want to talk about before we wrap up, because I do want to show your clips too. So let's talk about the mental gymnastics that you have when it comes to posting and like just being a content creator.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All the time. I'm like, if I'm working on a video, I'm like sometimes way too invested into the numbers. Like I'm way too worried about, is this something that's going, to perform well? Is it going to flop? And all of that. And usually the way it works is that there's something you're really passionate about and working on, it's not going to do as well as something that you're working on for like 5 seconds. That takes no time. It's usually how it goes. It never fails.
Yes.
But, you know, I feel like that's something that I struggle with a lot, is worrying about posting something that is going to go quote unquote viral all the time.
I will say though, you probably have that because you are a bigger content creator, because there's more pressure, and you've already gone viral so many times that you sort of know what works and what doesn't. And so that pressure is there. I think when you're smaller and your content doesn't go as viral as regularly, there's not that expectation or that pressure.
That's fair.
I would argue that. Maybe not, but.
No, I hear you. And I kind of also, I think, associate it with, you know, after working with different brands and stuff on different deals, that if I like have, because brands are going to be looking at like, let's say your last 10 videos, and, you know, probably average views of my last 10 videos would be, I don't know, somewhere on TikTok would be like between like 50 and 100,000, something like that. Right. And if I have a video in those last 10 that's under 10,000 views, it's going to drag down that whole average. And they're going to see it, and they're going to be like, they're going to be like, oh, we see that your last 10 videos range from like 6,000 all the way up to like 500,000 views. You're really inconsistent. So there's that factor as well. But
if you look at other people with TikTok, and also what makes me so mad with brands is when they come with their script and you're like, no, let the creators post the way where, like, even let's say if you're giving to an influencer and you want them to talk about a necklace or like a jewelry piece, then they want you to be like, this is so-and-so, this is it's like, no, just have a video. Have a video of you wearing it, and then like people asking you in the comments. That's going to do better.
That's the biggest thing. These lights were from Govee, and I did a sponsorship with them.
Yeah, they look great.
I love them. I love them. And when I, was talking to them about everything, they wanted a video and like talking about the price of it. And I was like, you do understand, like, I'm actually going to use these lights for the longest time I can think of on my stream every time that I'm streaming. Like, they are going to be there. And that, I think, is more beneficial than just a video.
100%. That, especially with TikTok, like you can smell it from 10 miles away that it's a sponsorship.
And then you scroll, it's gone. At least when I see them, I just scroll right past.
So do you have any like advice for someone who's going through the mental gymnastics or something like that of what's helped you to?
Yeah, I think, and when I was starting out and smaller and everything, my biggest piece of advice is just do what you want to do and test out new things and see what works. But at the end of the day, you got to be making the content that you want to be making. Otherwise it's going to feel like a job. Like a lot of the stuff on YouTube that I had been making for the last, like most of last year and somewhat into this year was like a lot of glitch videos within Apex, like things that wouldn't, like you're not supposed to be able to do in the game, stuff like that. Yeah. And I like that. I think it's interesting. I find it fun. But I've kind of, moved away from that and focus more on these customs, which I do really enjoy as well. But, you have to find whatever keeps you interested, or if you're just going to always be doing the biggest thing, like the thing that you think will get you to grow, or the thing that other people are doing, but you don't like it, it's not going to be sustainable in the long run.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then Throne also.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that before we get into the clips?
Yeah. So Throne is great. It's relatively newer, at least to my understanding. But basically,
I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, I think it's a really great feature from a community aspect. So when I just moved into my new place, got this set up, figured it out, I was like, I need to do something a little bit better so I can show some stuff off on stream.
Yeah, I need to do that too. It's tough for me because I also have client calls, and so I can't have like light up stuff or even like stuffed animals. That's just not professional. So that's why I've just left it blank.
I know exactly.
I don't know what to do.
I know exactly what you're saying. I hear you on that. But I knew that I wanted something like this where I could show off some stuff. So I came across Throne. And what it is, you just choose, you basically make a wish list. So I'll go ahead and put items on there that I think would look good in the background of my stream, in this case, that people could go ahead and gift me. So if someone gifts it, and let's say while you're streaming, like I have chat come up, like every 30 minutes or something saying, here's my wish list. And people can click on it. And if they purchase it, that item, they'll get a notification on the stream, which is cool. It'll show everyone their name. Then that item gets purchased by the Throne company and it gets shipped directly to myself. So there's no work that I have to do.
And also you don't want to give out your address.
Exactly.
And there's other things. Yeah.
There's the privacy feature of it, which is really nice. But now, like these were blank before. I got like this little Nessie and like these two. Oh, me too. I know. It looks great. It's like a good size and everything.
Mine's smaller.
Yeah, this one I think was the bigger of the two sizes.
And Nessie is something in the Apex game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. And same with these like figures down here. But the way that I looked at it too is like those people that gifted me these items, they're like forever in like my background with that. Like they know that they helped to get it to look this way. Yes. And that's really cool. People enjoy like that type of
customization and like involvement.
That's the word I was looking for. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
really
huge.
Cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, you should. It's really interesting. And the way it works is like if an item is $10, let's say on Amazon or whatever website, and you put in your Throne list, it's like an extra 10% or something like that, or 5 to 10% to cover probably their costs of making it happen.
Oh, that's great.
It's not crazy terrible, and it's something that the way I do it, at least, that it's on stream, or like I have lights on me right now, like just like a face light that someone gifted me as well, which is cool. So being able to use it,
I especially the privacy aspect, that's huge. That alone is worth it.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, great. So let's get into some clips now.
Sure.
We'll see how much time we have. At least we'll get through one. But let's go ahead and do that.
Cool. So this is a YouTube short that I recently put up. I put up on TikTok as well, but this is one of the things that we've been doing lately in the custom lobbies. I've been doing it known as Ross Says. So it's basically like Simon Says, where people have to listen to what I'm saying.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's great for content both on stream, and then I can just save the clip, edit it down, and post it. It's perfect. Best of both worlds. So I'm just going to refresh the page and roll it there. Ross says, make a circle around me. Let's close it in. Ross says, if you are on PC, spam crouch. Ross says, Red Octane, come here. Ross says, pick up my Sentinel. Ross says, you're going to go ahead and spin around and try to hit people. You cannot purposefully aim at someone. You just need to spin around. So yes, exactly like that. Ross says, keep spinning. And Ross says, begin shooting. Ross says, keep going. Ross says, keep going. Ross says, spin faster. Ross says, make a circle. Okay. That's that. And it's so good from a content perspective, because those are all people in my community playing at that exact same time, like listening to me in real time, and probably like sweating like no other, thinking one of those bullets is going to hit them and they're going to be eliminated.
Yeah, I was sweating just watching
honestly.
And you can't do that in regular the regular game, just so everybody's aware. Yeah.
So with that, we had everyone in like a Discord call at the exact same time, so they could hear my voice with no like lag from the stream or stream delay, anything like that. And so they were just listening to my voice and following like me around and having to do what I told them to do. So
that's cool. Do you have another one? We could probably do one more.
Yeah. So this is another one that we did in the custom lobbies. So a lot of stuff I'll do as well to get the community involved is we'll just do like funny skits, I guess, where again, things you can't really do without the collaboration that you're able to do within the custom. So this is something that you can't normally do in the game, but it does make for really good and funny content.
Days seem sometimes as if they'll never
Oh, it's so funny.
Sometimes it's heroes to talk.
Yeah, all those people are not supposed to be up there.
No, yeah.
Where they are at all.
Yeah, and everyone's just hiding, and it looks like what the heck? I totally saw that one. That
one did pretty good for sure.
And when you're watching, or as a viewer, you just assume that people really are just waiting up there as like a team.
Right.
Some people don't understand that it's a custom lobby, which makes it 20 times funnier.
There's a lot of people, yeah, for sure. And that definitely helps from like a virality standpoint
Yeah.
from commenting, because people get mad. Like people think that actually happened because they
Yeah.
don't understand the customs, since it's so limited again.
And you're
that-
not supposed to team. Like something like that would be
Right.
called teaming, because there's usually
Yes.
3 people per squad or per team, and that's like your group. But if you run into somebody else, then you can't talk to them. But some people have an in-game thing where you like keep crouching. It's called crouch spam, and that means you're friendly. And then you can kind of talk to people, and then you can kind of do things like that. But that looks like 3 or 4 teams went together, and people get so mad about that because they're like, you're teaming, you're not supposed to do that.
Cheating.
You can all game up on, or gang up on other people, and that's what they don't want.
Right.
This is everybody in one lobby. So, but like you said, it's really rare. It's so hard to get into these.
It is, yeah, and it's just, you know, at the end of the day for fun and everything like that. So
yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for sharing that and for such a good presentation. It's always a pleasure. And thank you everybody for tuning in and watching, and we will see you next week.
What's going on, guys? It's episode 5 of Throne Breaks. I'm your host, Al King, aka Big Al, and on today's show, we're going to talk about, as usual, sports cards. We're going to talk about other collectible items as well. We have a guest interview. He's big into the toy world, the Funko Pop world. Chicago Toy Company owner's name is George. He was gracious enough to come on and hop on for an interview with me, and we had a great conversation. We talked about not only what he does with the Funko Pops and his new location and just outside of Chicago, you'll hear in the interview, but also he started to buy into breaks. That's how I met him. I was a breaker on Whatnot for him, and we kind of just hit it off. They came in and they bought him and his daughter. It was a good time. Now he's buying slabs, and we'll get into all this stuff right in the interview. But as you guys saw on a couple episodes ago on a mail day, he also sent me some Funko Pops that were personal to me. This Loki one, if you didn't see the episode, I have a dog named Loki. We were on another podcast together, and he kept barking, and I said, "Loki, shut up. Loki, be quiet, Loki." And he goes, "What's your dog's name?" I said, "Loki," and he's like, "Oh, perfect." He already knew he was going to send me 2, and he added a 3rd one. This one, Big Al, this is freaking awesome. Like, how cool is this? It's just Big Al. I mean, I don't even have to explain anything else. Of course, the Iron Throne for Throne Breaks, right? Very cool. Very happy that he sent me those. And just goes to show the type of person that George is, right? He has Chicago Toy Company, but he's just a great person. He sent those to me just for free, right? Just because we kind of became friends, and I got to send him something back to return the favor. I don't know what yet. Maybe you guys can help me out. I don't know what to send a guy that has all the Funkos he could ever want. I know he's a Zach Levine collector. I could maybe send him a Zach Levine card. I don't know. He has cards. I don't know what to send him. Help me out. Anyways, without further ado, the interview with George. What's going on, guys? Today I got George, aka Chicago Toy Company, with me. I guess that's not really your nickname. That's more your shop name, huh, George?
Shop name, yes. Chicago Toy Company.
Talk to me a little bit about Chicago Toy Company. What is it? Who are you? What are you doing? Why are you with me?
Well, I met Big Al during some breaks with Blez. He was mine and my daughter's favorite breaker, and they stopped doing breaks on Whatnot. So we really haven't done any breaks with anybody since.
Really?
We bought a few boxes from Panini. They actually had a good sale going on for Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday through Cyber Monday.
I bought some boxes there. And other than that, we've been just busting a little bit of retail here and there, and buying stuff on eBay.
Yeah, so so that's gonna be one of my questions later, but
right. Well, that's how we met.
Yes, correct.
And then we had you on a podcast, which has yet to be cut and done, so that eventually will be done. Tim is the one that does. Yeah, exactly. I'm still waiting for that one. I don't know why it's taking him so long. Well,
It
here
was
at
probably
Chicago,
really good content. They're probably busy really cutting up all the gold.
yeah, right. So here at Chicago Toy Company, we specialize in Funko Pops. We've been doing it for a few years now. We just moved to a bigger location. Has a lot of different rooms and space. This, for instance, the room that I'm in is going to be our Whatnot room. We're actually starting next week.
Oh, dude, so cool.
Yeah. So what I originally promised was 100 giveaways. One before we sold anything. So starting Wednesday, we're going to be giving away 20 pops per day, starting
Wow.
on the 7th of December.
I was gonna say drop a date because this is gonna go live after for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're basically brick and mortar store. We don't do any shipping right now, but with our introduction to Whatnot, we'll be doing some, but we have a lot of walk-in traffic, so our primary source of income is through the door, and that's where we do a lot of buying. And we don't order anything direct. We buy collections from people. We do
No
trades with
way.
people, so similar to the sports cards industry, you know.
I had no idea you didn't buy any direct. That's
No,
insane.
nothing, zero,
Wow.
zero.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
yeah.
Because your inventory that I see on social media is like ever expanding, I feel like.
It's so before we moved a few months back, I had a small location. I actually got up to 4 storage units full of stuff. 10 by 20, 10 by 30. And that's where I had to draw the line. I'm like, can't be spending more on storage than I am on retail space. So got into a 4,200 square foot spot. We have everything under one roof now. Everything's actually organized, so we actually know what we have. That's what the big move was, all fun, opening boxes and forgetting certain things you bought, and it was like Christmas, you know what I mean?
Finding Big Al Funkos.
Big Al, the Big Al Funko. You got
Yeah.
the dog,
I'm gonna show
Loki
those.
the
I'll
dog,
show those off in a minute. Say again.
Loki the dog, right? Your dog's
Yes,
name's
yes,
Loki,
Loki the dog.
and then your throne.
um, and the throne. Yes, those are gonna make an appearance here very shortly. You sliding back to the cards. You mentioned to me that you had a shop in the '90s. I think you said it was.
Late uh late 90s was when I got out.
Okay.
I'd say 1999 was the last year that I actually had a card shop. Back then it was a lot different than it is now. You know, everything. I think that when 2000 hit, that's when, $7 was expensive for a pack of cards. Now, good luck finding a box under a few $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I think Jordan PSA 10s at the time were around 10,000, 12,000. So you see where they're at now.
Yeah.
They've actually come down, right? I think they're like 1 to 200,000 now.
Yeah, they're low. They're low compared to what they were.
Right.
Yeah,
And
by a pretty sizable margin.
I remember going to Pomona, California,
Okay.
with a bunch of Kobe rookies. And at the time, we had hundreds. Tops Chrome, all that stuff. Now you can't find that stuff. You can't touch that stuff. So
Wow.
those are my last memories before getting back in, like almost a year ago.
Mhm.
And it's just insane where the hobby has gone. It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
it
You
is.
know?
It's nuts. We're leveling out right now, I think.
Right.
We're finding a right now as it sits, it's November 29th, we're recording this. I think we are all I'm gonna just say it. We were all on a free fall without a parachute, and I think we've all deployed our parachutes right now, and we're coming to find a landing spot. I believe. I think we're close to where rock bottom's not the right term because we've had rock bottom in the hobby, and we're not close to that,
No.
right? But we're coming close to a nice landing point, maybe a little bit lower than some investors like, but
Right.
it's good for us collectors, and it's going to be enough to keep the hobby alive. I think in the capacity that it is today. So, I mean, I'm excited for where it's going.
Yeah, me too. I enjoy collecting. That's I was out of it for almost 20 years. Actually 20 years, yeah.
Wow,
And I got bored and started collecting again, not this past February, the February before. And it's kind of tumbleweeded into a whole room full of full of
a slap.
cars, and we might be buying and selling cars at Chicago Toy Company in a few months. Who knows?
That's beautiful. That
Yeah,
is beautiful. Music to my ears.
I love it.
um,
I love sports. Love the hobby.
yeah, it's a good segue. Switching the cards. I know you said you haven't been breaking with anyone, but what got you guys initially into breaking? Why did you buy into breaks rather than going and buying the hobby boxes or buying singles? What made the break worth your time and money?
You know what? It all started. I wasn't going to pay $1,000 a box for cards. I'm more of a. I want a certain player. I'm going to go buy that certain player. And me being in the Funko Pop industry, Whatnot is a big platform for Funko Pops. So I would be basically doing some homework, watching certain Whatnot streams for Funkos, and then I saw, hey, card breaks. What are card breaks about? I had no idea. We never did card breaks back in the day. We did pack wars, stuff like that. They still do that, but boxes were affordable back when in the late 90s, early 2000s, and so it kind of intrigued me when I started watching some of these guys doing the breaks, and I'm like, you know what? That's a cool idea. You bid whatever, and you get a team, and if you get lucky, get a good autograph or a low number card, and I don't know. It just became fun for a while. Me personally, I still like to go online and buy certain players,
Hmm.
but my daughter, she's 19. She really enjoys, doing the break. She'll open packs and know all the players, and she knows
Yeah,
more
it's
players
great.
than I do. You know what I mean?
I love it. I'll say for value, buying the guys you want on eBay, I think is the better way to go. But it's less fun, right? It's
Correct.
less entertaining. It's less community driven, and I think that part of breaking is really what attracts a lot of people to come back. Whether or not they hit a massive card, they had a good time that night. They did something that they enjoyed to do for 3, 4, 5 hours, however long they're there. And I think that's something that can't be replaced by just going and buying a single on eBay. Like mail day is fun,
Right.
right? But it's not as fun as hitting a massive card in a community of like-minded people.
Right. Exactly. And the chats are going, and
Yep.
you get into certain rooms, and a lot of people know each other. It's a lot of the same people in there. That's why I wish you guys would have kind of stuck with it. Takes a while
Yeah,
to
me
kind of
too.
build it up, but I
Me too.
understand money comes first, and sometimes you can't just keep bleeding money.
Yes, and I kind of was there for a minute, as you know. Let's see. I have a debate question that I brought up in this episode that's gonna air this Saturday that I haven't asked anyone else yet. What is your stance on 1 of 1 cards? Do you grade? Do you not? Why or why not?
So me personally, I prefer everything graded. Um, 1 of 1 card. Obviously, the grade kind of doesn't matter. It matters, but it doesn't matter. Like yesterday, I was bidding on Justin Jefferson Obsidian 101. It was a PSA 8. I usually don't buy PSA 8s, but it's a 1 of 1. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
A lot of people say the grade doesn't matter. I think it does matter, even on a 1 of 1. I think that Obsidian Justin Jefferson went for like around 900 yesterday. If it would have been a PSA 10, it's an easy $1,500 to $2,000 card. You
Let me
know,
ask you this. Let me ask you this then.
yeah,
So if that card was raw,
I wouldn't have. I don't look up anything raw.
you wouldn't have bidded on it.
No,
Do you think it would have went for more than it did as a raw, as opposed to what it did for an 8? Because that's my argument. So it's a good little.
right. Like I said, I personally just do graded stuff,
Mhm.
and if I'm looking for 1 of 1s, which I normally do. See, I had a bad taste in my mouth from back in the day because a lot of people were trimming cards and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind
Back
of
in
why I
the day, huh?
steer
That was a
away.
back in the day. That was a back in the day problem, huh? Not
No,
current.
it's a current problem too. I've seen different pictures and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think that's why I steer away from ungraded stuff, and I'd rather have something slabbed and buy it that way than. I know
Than
what you're
raw.
saying though. If somebody would have rather have a PSA 7 1 of 1 or ungraded, you know, it looks bad when it's a PSA 7. It looks bad when it just says authentic auto or
Yeah.
authentic,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's a 1 of 1. So, I don't know, me personally, I would pay more if it was graded, even if it was a PSA 7 or PSA 8 than I would for a raw card.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of different perspectives. My take is like, why grade a 1 of 1? There's no other card that can be graded higher or lower than that one
Right.
if you're gonna resell. Now, if it's a PC piece, get it in the slab immediately. It can come back at PSA 5. You don't care. You
Right.
have that card protected now. So my thought is, if you're reselling, you don't grade it.
Well, I
If
think
you
one of the current, not current, but one of the recent logo men that was bought for over $1 million, I think they slabbed it and just slabbed it as authentic.
yeah,
So they
I know
wanted
the
it
exact
slabbed.
one you're talking about.
Yeah.
The LeBron
Right.
James triple logo, man.
It looks
Um,
better in the slab and everything, but
yeah,
yeah, like you said, did it really do anything to the card? Not really. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Honestly, I think they left money on the table doing what they did by grading it, and it
Yeah.
was a 3-person decision, and I respect their decision, and they made the choice that they thought was right for them, and it came
Right.
back authentic, and I think it went from I'm not going to use exact numbers, but they lost a pretty good percentage of money, I would think.
Well, and I think a lot of people, when they send stuff in, I know you have the ability to write down minimum grade. So if you don't want anything under a PSA 9 or BGS 9 or whatever, they'll still slab it, but they'll mark it as authentic or whatever and
Mhm.
not put the grade on it. So that's, I think, how a lot of these just get that authentic grade on it instead of a regular grade.
Well, and I think patch cards are hard to grade anyway. So you send in a card that has 3 patches on it,
Right. Right.
it's gonna be a tough grade.
Right.
2 more things before I let you go.
Yes, sir.
One is, I want to talk about the gifts that you sent me really quick. Okay, so
They took a while to
yeah,
get there.
yeah, well, they took a bit to get there, and then I let them sit for like 2 weeks while they were here. I was like, I'm not opening this yet. I'm not opening this yet. I had to find time to open it on air.
Right.
So he sent me these. It was 2 at first, right? And
It
then you
was
found
2,
out.
and then I wanted to give you a third one, yeah.
Yes, and I'm assuming the third one is this one here, the Loki Funko Pop.
That's why I asked you if you had a dog or something.
Yes, so I was on a
And that's
podcast
actually the
interview
best
with
one out of
George.
the 3.
It's the best one?
Yeah, the best one,
Uh,
hardest one to find out of the 3, and most valuable out of the 3 is the Loki.
Amazing. Amazing. So we were on a podcast together, and I think he started barking, right?
Yes,
And I said, "Quiet, Loki, like, stop barking, Loki." And he
right.
goes, "What's the dog's name?" I said, "Loki." And I knew right then you were like, I gotta get him. I'm gonna get him
I
something
think
Loki.
because I was asking you like what you're into besides sports. Like, what do you watch besides? And you're like, sports.
Hmm. Yeah, correct.
I was trying to get some information from you, but
Yeah, it's
and then
sports
I
or
finally
bust for
got
me
some.
these days. Yeah, it's sports or bust until you found out that the dog's name was Loki. Check this one out to everyone watching. This is amazing.
Big
It's a
Al,
Big Al Funko. He's got a little martini glass. It's an
perfect for you.
alligator. I gotta move that light. That light is really hurting it, but that's so cool. And then this one is massive. Look how much. Okay, this is next to my face. Look at the Iron Throne.
Yeah,
It's as big as my face
that's a
from
6-inch
Game of
size.
Thrones.
They call that the 6-inch pop. So they actually have 10-inch
6-inch?
pops and 18-inch pops.
They do?
Yeah, 18-inch pop
Wow.
is like your torso.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
It's insane.
So, you know, when we were talking about Funkos before, and I know Nick, our producer, he's actually a big Funko Pop guy, so he was really excited to have you on.
Oh, okay.
When we were talking before, I said, you know, I can't wait to get these Funko Pops so I have something else to collect and something else to spend my money on. And now that these are here, I'm like, wait, I look at the back and I'm like, I need to get these ones. I need to
Right.
get all the other.
You need to get Thor and
Yeah. So now I'm on a whole other path of collecting things too.
It's fun. It's fun.
It is fun. It is fun. And like I said, I'm gonna get a shelf. They're gonna end up here. I might take one of these sound pads down. And we'll
Okay.
have these things behind
At
me.
least they have the Big Al one back there.
Yeah, of course, right? It has to be. Do you have any favorite? This is the last thing I ask everyone. Any favorite PC pieces on you or near you, or
Well, I dug up some stuff.
are they Zach Levine's?
How did you know one was a Zach Levine? Well,
Check it out.
here's our newest let's see. Our newest wide receiver.
Yep.
I just
Yeah.
bought that. That's out of 10.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for one of ones and things that are numbered low.
Okay.
So that's out of 10. So I think I told you the story on these.
Yes. Tell it again, really quick.
So these, there's 349 of them. I currently own about 100 of them. And I don't have any of them slabbed. I have like 4 slabbed and the rest are raw. So I don't know if I should grade them and ruin the pops on all of them or just leave them raw.
Yeah. I mean, I'd leave them raw till for a while, I would say.
Stuff like this. I buy one of ones. It's a Reggie Jackson auto.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Yeah. You'll like this one. This is out of 10. Nothing super expensive, but
That Josh?
actually,
Yep.
out of 10 rookie
He's
card.
balling right now, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, here's let me see. Here's a Justin Jefferson gold out of 10 rookie.
Wow.
So, like I told you, I like low numbered stuff and I love wide receivers.
Okay.
This is National Treasures printing plate. AJ Brown, one of one.
Wow.
And these are hard to get in good grades because they use the printing plates to
Yeah.
make the cards, you know?
Is that a 9.5?
It's a 9.5 and it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 color.
Wow.
And
Printing plates always interest me.
AJ Brown again. That's sorry, I'm terrible with the cameras.
You're good. Oh, Shield.
That's a shield. I love AJ Brown. I love Justin Jefferson, and I love this guy right here, DK Metcalf. This is SGC, and that's National Treasures also. That's a
Printing plate.
nice patch.
Is that a printing plate? Yeah,
Patch.
right?
Printing plate, yeah.
Yeah.
Printing
Wow.
plate autograph with it's on card, and it has the 3 colors on it.
Did
See, and
DK Metcalf catch
as
the
you can
pass this
see, I
past
don't care
weekend?
about what company grades them.
Sure.
It's a one of one.
Yep.
It's cool.
Yep.
I don't just buy regular printing plates. I like the ones with the patches in them.
Mm-hmm. I could tell.
Yeah. So me personally, I like low numbered stuff because sometimes you'll buy stuff like this. That's
Yeah.
Justin Fields rookie green, and right now, I think when I bought it, pop was 20, and now like a month later, the pop's like 50 something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
It's like
everyone's sending Justin Fields in for grading right now because he's finally balling, right?
right, but that stuff, the pop could eventually be 1,000 because there's no numbers on the cards. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So me personally, I like the stuff that's graded number 1 and number 2. It's got to be numbered.
Sure.
That's one of my other things.
Is it like to 99 or less, to 199 or less?
No, actually, I like 50 or under, but
Okay.
if it's a cool card, I'll do 99 or under that. But mostly one of ones and golds. I love golds out of 10, and obviously one of ones.
The industry loves gold. We all love gold.
We all love gold.
George, thank you for your time. Before you leave, where can the people find you? I know you guys aren't doing any shipping, but where can they find you? Drop your whatnot handle, drop the Instagram, all that stuff.
Yeah, we're actually Chicago Toy Company across the board. On Instagram is our the main platform we use. We'll be on Whatnot within the next couple weeks. So anybody looking for pops, we always have the best prices. And we'll be shipping through Whatnot. Other than that, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, but like I said, the main thing that we're going to be on is Instagram or Whatnot, and that would be Chicago Toy Company on all the platforms.
And for my massive Chicago following, where can they find you locally?
We're at 1387 Wind Energy Pass in Batavia. We're literally 40 minutes from the city, and we're right off one of the main expressways, so we're super easy to get to, and come on by, take a tour.
Sweet. Cool, man. George, thank you again for your time, and all the success to your shop, and hopefully when you start selling cards, I could bring my expertise to your table.
We're going to have you over for sure.
Cool.
Thanks for having me on.
Again, I really want to thank George, aka Chicago Toy Company, for coming by, taking the time out of his day to talk about Funko Pops, to talk about sports cards, to talk about all things collectibles. Loving what he's doing at his new shop. Love that the location is bigger. He can do more things. Love that they started on Whatnot. If you haven't checked them out on Whatnot yet, you should. It's Chicago Toy Company, one word, no spaces. Go check them out. They've been doing a great job. They had a 100% giveaway show. If you didn't see it, you missed it. So did I, but it's okay. But again, just thanks for George stopping by and hanging out and taking the time to interview. It was a lot of fun. Looking ahead, as we wrap up this episode, there are 2 big releases that are coming out. One will have already released when this airs live. It's actually coming out tomorrow. It's 2122 Contenders Optic. If you know the product, if you know the hobby, it's a big one. It's a risky one, but the hits are massive. But it's a risk, okay? Contenders Optic is a risky product. If you get it, there's a limited amount of cards. The auto is a hit or miss. You're really hoping for low numbered stuff, cracked ice stuff. But it's a beautiful product. It's chrome. It's phenomenal card stock. It's one of the better products of the year, every year, especially when you hit, right? So I'm going to start ripping that this week. I'm excited to see what comes out of it. If you have a big hit from this opening week, please drop it in the comments. Let us know what you hit. Share it with us. I want to see the pictures. DM me, BigAl_rips. let me know. We want to see it. I want to see the big hits. Hopefully I get a rip for you. Hopefully we hit big in 21-22 Contenders Optic. The other one I'm excited for, and I don't know who watched the fights this weekend. Patty may or may not have won the fight. So I'll leave that up to you. Did he win or did he not win the fight? Answer that question in the comments too. Anyways, regardless, 29-28 unanimous, he won by the judge scores. But what do you think? I have my opinion. I guess I'll share it really quick. I honestly think he won because he worked more, if that makes sense. The only thing that Romero had was leaning on him and, you know, whatever. It was not a great fight. Regardless, it was not a great fight. And you don't want to think that the name sways the judges on a fight like that to where, well, Patty needs to win because the sport needs Patty to win. It was just not a good fight. I'm happy Patty won, for not only for my Patty collection, but because I just like the dude, right? He's a likable guy. I think he can be a phenomenal fighter. He claimed he hurt himself in the first round. Maybe that's why it was a little bit boring for a Patty fight. Anyways, what do you think? Who won that fight? Into segue, what I'm looking forward to is December 21st, 2022 Donruss Optic UFC comes out. We're gonna have Downtown Fighter Chase. How cool is that? Along with all the other things that Optic comes with: color, low numbered, nice autos. Downtown's already said. I believe there's another insert in there this year that isn't usually in an Optic, and it's spacing my mind right now. But yes, Optic UFC, first time ever, debut product for UFC. So really excited for that. That drops December 21st, which will be a couple days, 4 days, I think, after this airs. And then it's Christmas. I forgot to wear my Christmas sweater or a Christmas hat. This is what happens when you rush. Slow down in life. Let things go. Slow down. I have 5 minutes till I have to leave. So on that note, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Episode 5 of Throne Breaks. Don't forget how awesome you are, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Hello. Welcome to Who Wore It Best? Jersey Royale. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Kaylee Krish. If you're a regular to the show, you're the real MVP. And if you're new, well, it is time to get you hooked. Each week, we take a number and dive into the greatest athletes to ever wear that number. Once we've broken down the athletes' careers and what makes them so great, then I will use my thinking cap and come up with who wore it best. Now, this week, we have a number that has produced a lot of greats. So much so, we are going to spend 2 whole episodes on this number. We've got greats from hockey to baseball, NBA, and football to football. So, without further ado, let's reveal this week's Who Wore It Best number that will be battling it out for the first of 2 titles. It is number 7. Like I said, we could spend hours upon hours on athletes that wore lucky number 7, but ain't nobody got time for that. So, this week we're gonna go through the top 5 athletes. And away we go. First up on the list, we have number 7, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. That's right, known as one of the greatest defensive catchers of all time. Pudge had the best caught stealing percentage of any major league catcher at 45.68% versus the league average of just 31%. And get this, he had 9 seasons with a caught stealing rate of 50% or better. No other catcher in the past 35 years has been as successful at this aspect of the game. Ridiculous. Pudge made his MLB debut with the Texas Rangers on June 20th, 1991, becoming the youngest player to catch in a major league game that season at just 19 years old. Pudge also immediately established himself as an excellent hitter. In his career, he hit .296 with 2,844 hits, 555 doubles, 311 runs, and 1,332 RBIs. He won 6 straight Silver Slugger Awards from 94 to 99, and a final one in 2004. In 2003, before heading to the World Series, Pudge was named NLCS MVP after driving in his NLCS record 10th run and scoring twice as the Marlins beat the Cubs in Game 7. Must have been an exciting game. That Marlins team would go on to win the World Series, and Pudge would get his well-deserved ring. Pudge was a 14-time All-Star, an AL MVP, and he is the all-time leader in Golden Gloves at the catcher position, winning 13 times, consecutively from 92 to 2001, and in 2004, 2006, and 2007, to go along with all of those other badass stats. Rodriguez announced his retirement in 2012. The Texas Rangers signed him to a one-day contract so he could finish where it all started. Love when teams do that. 2007 was a big year for Pudge, and the Rangers retired his number 7. And he was elected into the Hall of Fame on his first ballot, receiving 76% of the votes. There you go, folks. Pudge Rodriguez. Now let's move from the field to the ice with number 7, Tim Horton. Now most of y'all are thinking, Tim Horton? I thought that was a beloved Canadian coffee establishment and restaurant. Well, you would be right. It is, but it was started by none other than Tim Horton, a beloved hockey defenseman. Old Timmy played 24 seasons in the NHL, and his first 20 were all with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Playing his first NHL game in 1950, Horton was known for his extreme strength and calmness under pressure. His teammates and opponents alike thought he was one of the strongest men they knew, nicknaming him Superman. And in fact, Gordie Howe, Mr. Hockey himself, called Horton the strongest player in hockey. That's quite a compliment coming from Howe. His strength carried into his consistency as well. Between February 1961 and 1968, Horton played 486 consecutive regular season games, which remains a Leafs record for consecutive games. Now remember, these guys were not wearing helmets, they had limited pads, and they were throwing each other across the ice. This was a brutal game, so that kind of consistency is impressive. Now, setting another Leafs record in 1962, Horton scored 3 goals and 13 assists in 12 playoff games, a team record for playoff points by a defenseman. The Leafs would win the Cup this year as well, by the way, Horton's first of 4. And that playoff record would stick until 1994. Horton even created his own fighting tactic. Instead of boxing and laying guys out, Tim would envelop you in a bear hug, which sounds nice and cozy, but not when he squeezes so hard that it feels like your ribs are gonna pop like toothpicks and then tosses you to the cold hard ice like a bag of sand. Not many wanted to mess with a Horton bear hug. In his career, Tim Horton played 1,445 games, had 115 goals and 403 assists, and was a 6-time All-Star. In 1977, Horton was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. In 2016, the Toronto Maple Leafs retired his number 7, and a year later, Horton was part of the first group of players to be named one of the 100 greatest NHL players in history by the league itself. And I don't know if you've ever been to a Tim Hortons, but you can absolutely not leave Canada without having yourself some Tim Hortons. I'm pretty sure it's a crime. Plus, there are like 600 of them located in the US alone, so there's really no excuses. All right, moving on to our next greatest player to ever wear the number 7. And we're going to stay with the sport for a little bit here because this number has been really good to the quarterback position in football. First on the list of great QBs to wear this number, Ben Roethlisberger. Big Ben was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round of the 2004 NFL Draft and spent the next 18 seasons with the team. Ben was known for his backyard football style, playing outside the pocket. Fun fact, Ben grew up idolizing another QB on our list that we'll get to eventually. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year and in 2006 won his first Super Bowl in just his second season at the helm, earning him the title of the youngest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. In 2007, Roethlisberger would get the first of his 6 Pro Bowl appearances, including one in 2011 and 4 straight from 2014 to 2017. In 2008, on the road to Big Ben's second Super Bowl, he would break the record for most wins by a quarterback in their first 5 NFL seasons with his 49th victory. In Super Bowl 43, Roethlisberger led the Steelers to one of the more dramatic victories in Super Bowl history. On the first 2 offensive drives, Big Ben passed for 122 yards on 7 of 8 passing attempts. Steelers coming in hot. At one point, they would lead the Cardinals 20-7, but managed to give it all away and end up trailing Arizona 23-20 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. Roethlisberger marched the Steelers 88 yards in 8 plays, hooking up with the game MVP Santonio Holmes 4 times for 73 yards on a drive that included a 6-yard touchdown pass that put the Steelers ahead with just 35 seconds remaining. Overall that night, good old Ben finished 21 of 30 for 256 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, with a passer rating of 93.2. He would see the Super Bowl lights one more time in his career in 2011, but unfortunately would lose to, you guessed it, the Green Bay Packers. Now, let me just say, that game probably took about 3 years off of my life, so thanks, Ben. Upon his retirement following the 2021 season, the comeback kid was tied for the second most game-winning drives of all time with 53, and the second most game-winning drives including the playoffs with 57. In his career, Roethlisberger played 218 games, threw 363 touchdowns, and is currently 5th on the all-time leader in passing yardage list with 56,545 yards. Ben Roethlisberger will be eligible for Hall of Fame consideration in 2027. Now, do y'all think that he will make it in his first year of eligibility? I want to know your thoughts, so leave a note in the comments. I want to hear from you guys on that. Now, let's keep rolling with the next quarterback on our list, number 7, Joe Theismann. Now, Theismann was an All-American at Notre Dame and was in a tight contention for the Heisman Trophy in his junior year after leading the team to a 10-1 season, ranking number 2 in the country, and winning the 1971 Cotton Bowl Classic. Theismann set school records for passing yards in a season with 2,429 and touchdowns in a season with 16. He also set a school record for passing yards in a single game with 526 and completions in a game with 33 while playing USC in a torrential downpour in 1970. In his time at Notre Dame, Theismann had a 23-2 record while throwing over 4,000 yards and 31 touchdowns. For these stats, Joe was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2003. Now, despite being drafted in the first round of the 1971 NFL Draft by the Miami Dolphins and in the 39th round of the MLB Draft by the Minnesota Twins, and this guy's an athlete, Joe actually opted out and signed to the Canadian Football League with the Toronto Argonauts. In his 3 seasons with Toronto, Theismann put up 40 touchdowns and threw over 6,000 passing yards. In 1974, he was acquired by the Washington Redskins, where he would spend his next 11 seasons. In 1982, Theismann led the Redskins to their first championship in 40 years. He threw 2 touchdowns, and with the Redskins trailing 17-13 in the third quarter, he made arguably the most important defensive play of the game. After his pass was deflected and caused what appeared to be an interception, Theismann himself was able to knock the ball out of the lineman's hands, keeping the score close enough for Washington to stick to their run-heavy strategy that would eventually lead to their victory. Hey, they say slow and steady wins the race, right? Joe led his team to a consecutive Super Bowl appearance next year, but the team would fall short on that effort. Now, who knows where Joe Theismann would have finished his career had he not suffered a career-ending leg injury that has been voted as one of the most shocking moments in NFL history. And if you were there to witness it or you have found it on YouTube since then you know you cannot unsee that. Now, despite his shortened career, Theismann still holds multiple Washington franchise records, including most career wins by a quarterback with 87, most career passing yards with 25,206, most career passing completions with 2,044, and most career passing attempts with 3,602. He was also NFL MVP in '83, a two-time Pro Bowler, first-team All-Pro, and NFL Offensive Player of the Year. Now, last up tonight, from football to football, we will finish it up with number 7, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, Ronaldo is often considered the best player in the world and widely regarded as one of the greatest players of all time. Oh, how's anyone going to compete with that? We'll see. Ronaldo has won 5 Ballon d'Or awards, his first at the age of 23 by a record-high vote count, and 4 European Golden Shoes, the most by any European player. He has won 32 trophies in his career, including 7 league titles, 5 UEFA Champions Leagues, and the UEFA European Championship. Ronaldo holds the records for most appearances with 183, goals with 140, and assists with 42 in the Champions League, as well as the most goals in the European Championship with 14, international goals with 118, and joint most international appearances with 196. He is one of the few players to have made over 1,100 professional career appearances and has scored over 800 official senior career goals for club and country. And as if all of that wasn't enough, he is the only male player to score 5 World Cup tournaments. Cristiano Ronaldo is the highest scorer among active footballers in the world currently. His passing ability and vision sets him apart, and his speed is a problem for defenders. A versatile attacker, Ronaldo is capable of playing on either wing as well as through the center of the pitch. And while seemingly right-footed, he is very strong with both feet. In 2003, when Ronaldo signed with Manchester United, he was given the number 7, which had previously been worn by George Best and David Beckham. This became an extra source of motivation to be better than his predecessors. And in 2008, Ronaldo set the club's single-season goal record with 33, surpassing George Best's total. Ronaldo scored 42 goals in all competitions during the 2007-2008 season, his most prolific campaign during this time in England. And in the following season, he would score his 100th goal in all competitions for United, and had scored against all 19 opposing teams in the Premier League at the time, and helped United to win the 2008 FIFA World Cup. Ronaldo continues to set records and push his stats. In 2021, with his return to Manchester United, Ronaldo became the player with the most appearances in the Champions League. He became the first player to score in 5 consecutive matches of a Champions League campaign for an English club, and also surpassed that 800 career goals. Now, there is way more to this athlete than I can possibly go over in this episode. For all you Ronaldo fans out there, why don't you go ahead and list some of your favorite moments of his in the comments? I'd love to hear from you guys. And there you have it. The first 5 players battling it out for the Who Wore It Best crown, part 1 of this number 7 duel. To recap, we've got Pudge Rodriguez, Tim Horton, Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Theismann, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Now remember, folks, not everyone's on this list, not in this first episode. I don't want to get yelled at for leaving folks off this list, okay? You can wait to do that until after the second episode, all right? The rest of the greatest players to wear number 7, you'll catch them after the new year. That's right. I'm going to announce the first winner, and then I'm gonna leave you with a little holiday cliffhanger. And speaking of holidays, yep, giveaway alert. Oh, I love doing this. I am gifting one person with a $50 Amazon gift card. How will I choose? Well, you remember when I told you all to write in the comments about your favorite Cristiano Ronaldo memory? Well, the best memory will receive that $50 gift card. Yes, I know I am incredibly generous. Thank you for noticing. All right, get those answers in and the winner will be hearing from me. Now, as for the winner of this part 1 greatest to wear number 7 duel, yeah, I kind of feel like I've already slipped here and given away the answer, so I probably don't need to say it, right? No? Okay. Yes, it is Cristiano Ronaldo. He is the first to take the crown in the best to wear number 7. It's hard to deny his greatness when he's considered one of the best in the history of the sport. In 2003, when he signed with Manchester, he signed for £12 million, which is about $14.6 million. That was a record fee for a player of his age. So they already knew he was gonna be a GOAT. Plus, he was voted sexiest man alive in 2012, so what more can you say? There you go. Remember, if you like what you see, give us a follow, share the content, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff that keeps us creating. Tune back in on January 7th for our part 2 of the Who Wore the Number 7 Best. In the meantime, catch up on all the content you have missed on the Titan Media Collective channel on YouTube. I got my own playlist in there for your binging pleasure. There are already 4 other episodes on there for you to watch, so get on it. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and see y'all next time.
Welcome everybody to Boozing on a Budget here on Titan TV. It is the whiskey episode. Alright, I can't lie. My drink of choice is bourbon whiskey. But I didn't just come to bourbon whiskey. I got here through experimenting with some whiskey when I was in my younger years, taking some shots. Then I got into scotch, and then I got into wine, really heavy, started tasting and smelling wine, and then I took all those skills over to whiskey. Started out when I was a little bit younger man. I won't say how young, but in high school I used to drink Southern Comfort. Why did I drink Southern Comfort when I was young? Not sure. I just like Southern Comfort, and that's what I got if I could. So that's kind of where it started. After that, I always enjoyed a good shot of whiskey with my beer, but that's all it was. It was just a shot. Shot of Jameson, shot of Bushmills, shot of Jim, shot of Jack. Wherever it was, I wasn't drinking it to sip it or taste it. I was just drinking it, do shots at the bar. Whatever that case may be, that's kind of where I started. I always gravitated towards the whiskey shot. Somewhere right around 2010, I started wanting to go a little bit deeper onto what exactly this whiskey was. So I started drinking bourbon. I just didn't start drinking it. I started looking at the brand names, looking at where it came from, looking to start pick out different flavors and to choose who my favorite bottle was. But I didn't get too deep though. It was still just something that I was kind of knocking back. However, I just started to develop favorites. My favorites in bourbon were Woodford Reserve, Knob Creek, Evan Williams Black Label, Evan Williams Single Barrel. Oh, and I like Jim Beam Black too. That was the early days. Then something happened. When I graduated from college, I was gifted an 18-year-old Scotch. When I tried this Scotch whiskey, my mind was blown. It wasn't anything like the bourbons that I was tasting. It was just this new experience. It was so smooth. It was so good. It was 18 years old. That's the first time that I said, maybe I'm a Scotch person. That whiskey, that 18-year-old Scotch whiskey led me into a whole, several years long obsession with Scotch. My favorites with Scotch whiskey were starting out the Glenlivet, the Glenmorangie, Glenfiddich, kind of a good place to start. Then I got into the Balvenie Doublewood, the Monkey Shoulder. Costco had some really good Scotch selections. In fact, the 18-year that I was gifted was a Costco selection. Lagavulin I was getting into, Oban. Lagavulin and Oban started introducing me to the world of smoky, peaty scotches. I didn't go all the way into that world because, man, Scotch can get super smoky. Some people love it. I was just starting to develop a taste for it. It took me a few years, though, drinking Scotch to do so. During the years that I was drinking and obsessed with Scotch, the times that I would try bourbon, it was too sweet. I still appreciated the flavor of bourbon, but it was just, compared to the Scotch that I was drinking, they were all just too sweet. The thing that started getting me in trouble with Scotch is that this stuff was so smooth. It was mostly 12 years at a minimum. And I found that this high quality Scotch that I was drinking, I could drink a lot of it and not have a bad hangover. So I started drinking a quarter of a bottle of Scotch, half a bottle of Scotch, maybe a whole bottle of Scotch sometimes in one sitting, because it was just so smooth, such high quality, and it did not give me a hangover. So I started getting myself in a little bit of trouble with my Scotch. I was drinking too much. So I took a little step back from whiskey at that time, and that's when I started getting obsessed with wine. Man, I started going in on wine. I couldn't learn enough, but what I learned about wine was how to smell it, how to taste it, how to appreciate it, how to look for different characteristics, how to look at where that different wines came from and where they came from, their geography, their terroir, how that played into their flavor profiles. Then came, after that initial surge of wine, my second resurgence into bourbon whiskey. I took all those things that I was learning about wine and I applied them to whiskey tasting, and honestly, I kind of haven't looked back. I then stumbled upon this book, Tasting Whiskey. I'll throw it up in the B-roll. This book really educated me on how whiskey was made, where it came from, all those types of things. If you're looking to educate yourself on whiskey, start to learn a lot more about where it comes from, the process, I would highly recommend this book, tasting whiskey, an insider's guide to the unique pleasures of the world's finest spirit. And I agree, whiskey is the world's finest spirit. Go out and get yourself that book if you're interested in learning more. So what is whiskey? Let's move right along to my next segment, binge thinking. We're going to cover a lot of stuff in binge thinking. First of all, though, let's define whiskey. What is whiskey? Alcoholic beverage made from fermented grain mash. So we're going to get into a little bit more in my guest segment. I'm going to take you on a tour of Frey Ranch. But whiskey it's a grain-originated beverage. Mostly the grains are corn, rye, wheat, malted barley. Those are the main grains in whiskey, but whiskey can be made of all different types of grains, and there's some experimental whiskeys coming out. I've heard of different grains coming out, so watch out for those as well. But generally, those are the grains that whiskey is made out of. So those different grains, you then take and add some yeast to it, and it starts fermenting those grains. And the grains that are in your whiskey, those are what is called the mash bill. Let's talk about mash bill. The mash bill is just the specific amount of grains that are in a whiskey. This is one of the single most important things. People ask, what's the difference between bourbon and whiskey? Well, bourbon is whiskey. However, in order for something to be labeled a bourbon whiskey, it has to have 51% corn in the mash bill. So over half of the mash bill has to be corn. By law, bourbon, it cannot say bourbon on the label unless it meets that characteristic, 51% corn in the mash bill. A rye whiskey, I'm going to open up this rye whiskey from Frey Ranch. I'm going to taste this in my later segment, but a rye whiskey has to have 51% rye in the mash bill. After that initial, whether that's corn or rye or malted barley in your scotch is going to be 100% malted barley, but then you're going to fill in the rest of the mash bill for bourbon. You're going to fill that, the corn's going to take up 51%. Then you're going to have some rye for the spice. Then you're going to have some wheat, some malted barley, whatever the case may be. That's one way for distillers and whiskey makers to change the way that their whiskey tastes by messing with their mash bill, putting different amounts of grains in there, experimenting with that. But that's what a mash bill is. The mash bill is the different types of grains and how much goes into making that whiskey. Now, there are also different kinds of whiskey. Let's start at the basics. Whiskey can be bourbon whiskey, Scotch whiskey, Irish whiskey, Japanese whiskey. These are all grain fermented beverages. Here's a myth. So many people, including myself when I started out, I said, bourbon whiskey has to come from Kentucky. Only bourbon comes from Kentucky. It doesn't come from anywhere else. Technically, bourbon does not have to come from Kentucky. Now, Kentucky has a ton of history. You could say that probably bourbon started in Kentucky, but by law, it does not have to be made in Kentucky to be considered bourbon. Quick rundown of what has to happen lawfully, legally, for it to be considered bourbon. It has to be made in the United States. Aging must take place in new charred oak barrels. Mash bill, 51% corn. The whiskey cannot enter the barrel at higher than 125 proof. Also, your bourbon whiskey cannot have any added colors or flavors. Scotch can add a little bit of color. Their laws allow for that. Bourbon, if it's on the label, no color added. So let's move right along to now. Another thing you're going to see on labels is bottled in bond. This happens to be a bottled in bond rye. Bottled in bond is another thing that people want to put on their label. And there are some laws, believe it or not, there is legality based around this. Bottled in bond has to be at least 4 years old. It has to be 100 proof. It has to be distilled in one season by one distillery, and it has to be overlooked by a government agent. I don't know exactly what that means. It just means that it's probably been under some sort of scrutiny by some type of whiskey agent from the government. The reason bottled in bond started, the history of bottled in bond, is that back in the day, they used to make this grain fermented alcohol and they'd slap tobacco in there or this or that or blah, 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 whatever. And you didn't really know what you were going to get. So they started this bottled in bond as a way to say the government has actually stepped in and said, we've overseen some of this. We vouch for this whiskey. This is quality whiskey. So really, bottled in bond is just saying that this is good stuff. It falls into these rules, and you know what you're going to get when the label says bottled in bond. Let's talk about proof. A lot of people
drink 80 proof whiskey, 90 proof whiskey. You bring like 101 or 105, 107 proof whiskey to somebody and they're like, whoa, that's hot. It's too much alcohol. Sure, higher proof whiskeys are gonna have obviously more alcohol, but what you need to understand is you start getting into whiskey, you become what they call a proof snob. Because essentially any whiskey that's taken out of the barrel and watered down from the 125 is the limit for barreling, but then they take it and they add water. That's why some of the best whiskey comes from Kentucky, because it has some of the best water running over limestone deposits in that Kentucky area. But you take water then and you water it down, you proof it down. So your 80 proof whiskey is whiskey that came out of the barrel at a higher proof, a little stronger, and then they added some water to proof it down. So as you get into it, like myself, I like higher proof whiskeys because there's going to be some more flavor in there. It's more true to what's actually coming out of the barrel. Lower proof whiskey stuff is watered down. That doesn't mean it's bad. That just means they put a little water into that process. So you can find whiskeys that say barrel proof, cask strength, barrel strength. This one here is a single barrel bourbon, cask strength, straight bourbon whiskey. This is actually 116.18 proof. So it's 116 proof. This stuff very, very, very good. This brings me right along to my next piece of information about whiskey. What is a store pick? This happens to be a store pick. You're my boy, Blue! This is a liquor lineup here in Las Vegas. It's a store pick. A store pick means somebody from that liquor store, that bar, that restaurant, they've gone and picked themselves, somebody from that liquor store has gone and sampled different barrels at the distillery and said, you know what? This is my favorite one. This is the one that I want to put my store's name on. So then they say, this is a barrel pick. Generally, they come with one of these goofy stickers. We lovingly call them a tater sticker. There's all kinds of different tater stickers. They're just a bit of marketing, but this is a way to show that it is a store pick. I would highly recommend, if you're a whiskey person and you've not gotten into store picks, I would highly recommend getting some store picks. Go out, you're gonna find at your favorite liquor stores, they've chosen a single barrel and they say, this is the whiskey that represents our taste. We put our name on this. I'm telling you what, my friends, I have yet to have a bad store pick. So that's what a store pick is. I want to talk quickly too, let's just talk about kind of how the bourbon thing has exploded in American culture. Back in the 80s, bourbon kind of took a downfall. The fitness craze was happening in the 80s. People were moving towards clear spirits like vodka. They were starting to worry about calories, things like that. Bourbon whiskey became this, like, that's an old person's drink. That's your grandfather's old bourbon whiskey. It fell out of favor. It was not trendy at all. And so bourbon sales went super, super low. I would say that continued through the 90s and even through the first part of the 2000s. And then in the last 10, 15, maybe even less years, bourbon has exploded in the popularity. It's become this thing that people are hunting for. They're going out looking for certain bottles. The prices have gone up. There's all these different folklore. If you want to look into Pappygate, there's a documentary about the employees at Buffalo Trace had a black market thing going on. We're literally stealing whiskey out of the distillery and selling it to their friends. And it just drove the prices up and made everybody want that whiskey. This is a really good example. This is a Henry McKenna 10-year bottled in bond. You used to be able to find this on the shelf, no problem. $30, $35. Nobody was talking about it. This then won a double gold in the San Francisco Spirits Awards, I believe. After it won that award, everybody started buying this bottle. You can't find this bottle anywhere. You're lucky if you find it. You go out hunting, you're lucky if you see this on a shelf. The only reason I have this, I was talking to the liquor store owner and some of the employees about whiskey, and we tasted some and we were having a good conversation, and the owner brought this from the back and said, here, if you want to buy this, I'll give it to you at retail price, which is about $40. But you can see the stuff, I've seen this for $80, $100, $150. It becomes like this novelty. People are hunting for it. People are looking for it. So this is one of my favorite ones. If you see this on the shelf, you better pick yourself one up. All right, quickly to the last part of binge thinking, I want to talk a little bit about glassware. This right here, it looks like it needs a little deeper cleaning than my dishwasher, but this is what is called a Glencairn. No, not a Karen, Glencairn. This is a whiskey nosing and tasting glass. It's shaped to gather the odor, the nose of the whiskey here, and then get that going up towards your nose. So this is designed specifically to put your nose in and smell. Really, really popular glassware if you're looking to sip whiskey, smell it, and taste it. Here I have a rocks glass, your typical rocks glass. This one happens to come from a company called Norland. Norland has several different offerings in their glassware for whiskey. There is one that my stepdad has that's really, really good. It kind of tunes some of the ethanol down in the nose, and it's, again, these glasses are designed to expand your experience of whiskey, whether that's nosing or sipping. So if you're really getting into this stuff, I'd highly recommend going out and getting you something, some glassware specifically made for tasting whiskey. Glencairn, it's a good place to start. All right, my friends, I don't have a guest this week. However, I was recently home for Thanksgiving, which is in northern Nevada, which is home to Frey Ranch. I'm rocking my Frey Ranch hat. I got my Frey Ranch rye. I got my 100% corn. We're talking about the grains used in making whiskey. This whiskey here has 100% corn in the mash bill. I was recently out at the distillery in Fallon, Nevada, and I have some video of that. I'm going to talk you through all that. So please join me as I go on this tour of Frey Ranch Distillery.
All right, come with me on a tour of Frey Ranch. Frey Ranch is located in Fallon, Nevada. It is an estate distillery within a 165-year-old 1,500-acre family farm. We went on Small Business Saturday, and our tastings were free. What does it mean to be an estate distillery? Well, it means that the complete process to make their spirits occurs on the ranch. They grow all the grains, malt their own barley, ferment, distill, barrel, and age their whiskey all on the ranch. Hence the term, from grains to glass. Here you can see we are in their fermenting room. They're fermenting their rye when we were visiting there, and each one of these fermenters are in different stages of fermenting. This one here that I'm approaching now is in its first day. As you can see, it is the most active. Also, one of the main components of Frey Ranch is that they use all of the byproducts of making their whiskey. You can see here some of the byproducts coming out of the fermenting room and being taken to their local dairy where they're fed to happy cows. You can see here that they run their stuff through 2 column stills, and it then goes to a pot still. This pot still is something that was made for them specifically from a brand in Kentucky. These copper pot stills are one traditional way of distilling spirits. The copper is said to strip unwanted flavors out of there. Also, as I said before, nothing goes unused. The spent mash bill grains go to the dairy farmer, who then returns the manure to Frey Ranch, and they use that to fertilize their fields. They also irrigate their fields with water that is left over from their whiskey making process, and it helps to raise the salinity levels in the soil. They also use water from their own pond as a cooling mechanism in their whiskey making. Now you can see we're stepping into the rick house here. Look at all those barrels of whiskey just sitting there aging. The darker the barrel, the older it is. You can see here some of that whiskey kind of, as it absorbs into the wood, it starts leaking out a little bit. These rick houses don't have any heating or air conditioning. They're just subdued to the elements, and that is one of the natural processes of aging your whiskey. That was it for my tour of Frey Ranch. You can see here the grounds here. They have a bunch of really cool old John Deere tractors. If you're in the northern Nevada area, go check out Frey Ranch.
All right, let's get to my favorite part of the show. I get to open up a bottle of rye whiskey. Rye whiskey, rye whiskey. As we covered before, rye whiskey is if it's going to be called rye, it has to have at least 51% rye in the mash bill. Rye is known for being spicier. It has a little bite. If you're new to whiskey, I maybe wouldn't start with ryes. You could just go ahead and start with your bourbons first. But I do love me a little bite, a little bit of strength. I want my whiskey to pop me in the mouth a little bit. So let's get into this rye whiskey from Frey Ranch. This one's aged 6 years. It is a bottled and bond expression. We covered that earlier. So it is 100 proof. Well, this is a 100% rye in the mash bill. No other grains. 100% winter, slow grown winter rye. I'm actually pretty stoked. I would highly recommend the straight bourbon whiskey from Frey Ranch. It's killer stuff. I've actually, well, I was gonna say I've never had the rye, but I did taste the rye on the distillery tour, but I haven't actually sat at home and tasted the rye, so I'm actually pretty stoked. I find Frey Ranch, of course I'm biased, I'm from Nevada. There's a lot of hype about Frey Ranch. How can we not love, Frey Ranch? They're nationally known now, doing things from my little part of the world, northern Nevada. So let's check it out. We're gonna taste it. One thing we like to do is do the pop. Let's do that pop. Pop. Ooh. Oh. Look at the color already. You can see it's nice and dark up against that white. Swish, 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 just like we do with the wine. We're gonna swish it around a little bit, get some oxygen to it, let it open up a little bit. We're also going to swish, swish, swish around so that it starts to bring those aromas up into the glass. Oh man, maple syrup, like charred marshmallow. There's some sweetness there, some nice whiskey sweetness. It tastes a little bit like graham cracker or it smells a little bit like graham cracker crust. A little spearmint. Rye is known for having a little bit of a mint quality, sometimes some cinnamon as well. God, this just tastes like a sweet toast, or it smells like a sweet toasty marshmallow with some grains too. Taste that cinnamon. If sipping whiskey intimidates you, start with a lower proof. Start with an 80 proof. Start with a wheated whiskey, more wheat in the mash bill. Don't start with a 100 proof rye, but start sipping it. Add a couple drops of water to open it up. I mean, literally a couple drops, like drop, drop. Drop a nice pure ice cube into your whiskey. There's no shame in some of that game. I like to drink my stuff neat, but I have been sipping it for a while, and I've developed my palate to be able to do that. It does have a real similar grain note on the nose that I find in their straight bourbon whiskey. Frey Ranch bottled and bond rye, very smooth. This is my drink of the week. I actually thought it might have a little bit more kick, but man, that's smooth and drinkable. I'd say maybe not quite as sweet, not quite as fruity as their Frey Ranch straight bourbon, but very good, very good. My last segment is pairs with. Now, for whiskey, I know people pair sometimes their whiskey with some chocolate. Really popular to pair your whiskey with a cigar. We'll go a little different route today. I'm going to talk about pairs with an app. This app is called Distiller. I use this app a ton. This is where I can go pop in a whiskey, get reviews, get more information, get user reviews, get expert reviews, read articles. There's a million different things in this app, Distiller. I use this a lot just to get an idea about what other people are saying about this whiskey. What does it stack up? It gives me flavor notes. I can keep a log of some of the whiskeys that I've tasted in here. It's just a great way to get more information. If you're starting to get into whiskey, you want to get the Distiller app. It's just a great resource on your whiskey journey. Because I like the tech, right? There's a wine app that we'll talk about in the wine episode. I talked about Untapped, the beer app. There's all sorts of stuff, man. I love Total Wine's app just because I use that app quite a bit to establish a baseline for what a price point might be on beer, wine, whiskey, tequila, vodka, rum, whatever it may be. Total Wine is going to show you probably one of the most cheap prices that you're going to find it, given that they're a big box retailer. I use the Total Wine app just to establish, again, a baseline of cost to see, you know, just where some of these things and some of their other competitors may be sitting price point wise. So if you're getting into this booze stuff, if you're with me on this booze journey, lean on some of the tech. There are all kinds of different apps. Obviously, Google everything for your answers. If you have questions, Google everything. But I really find that a lot of these apps are really helpful in me as I'm learning and exploring wines, whiskeys, and other beverages. I love bourbon so much that this was just the general whiskey episode. I'll probably do a whole bourbon episode. I'll do a Scotch episode. Maybe I'll lump everything else, the Irish, the Canadian, the Japanese, into another episode. But suffice it to say, there are all kinds of different styles of whiskey that you should familiarize yourself with. I'm going to warn you though, once you go down the whiskey rabbit hole, you may not come back for a while. Once you acclimate your palate to sipping whiskey, you're going to find just so many layers of flavor, so many different experiences. And we haven't even talked about cocktails yet. You can make all kinds of wonderful, wonderful cocktails with bourbon and whiskey and different things like that. So I would highly recommend start sipping some whiskey. Start with the lower proof stuff, 80 to 90 proof to start. Maybe start with a wheat whiskey. Just start sipping it, start tasting it, start smelling it, start appreciating it, and you're going to be well on your way to being a bourbon addict like myself. All right, my friends, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out, having a drink with me here on Boozing on a Budget on TitanTV. The next episode, I don't know what the next episode is. I'm going to be traveling for Christmas. We might just do a fun one where anything goes. Whatever the case may be, we're going to talk about educating ourselves, learning more about this process, learning how to find the best stuff for the best prices. That's what we do on Boozing on a Budget. Once again, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll see you next time.